Larger, come get inspired. Larger, feel like a star. Larger, here we're all equal. Larger, still take you far. Larger, get the lace the larger. Come have some fun. Larger, she's the one. Larger, you know where to come. Larger, come get inspired. Larger, feel like a star. Larger, here we're all equal. Larger, still take you far. Larger, get the lace the larger. Come have some fun. Larger, she's the one. Larger, you know where to come.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me okay, Curvies? Can you hear me okay? Thanks for coming through Chanel's Reality. Bianca Edwards, Linnell Seller. Thanks for being here, Curvy Crew. I already dropped the link if anybody wants to come up and share their thoughts once we start getting in the stories. But the link is already dropped. You can tell from this beautiful thumbnail we got some things on the menu today for our Sunday Fun Day live for the Memorial Day weekend. You know, I try to get in here. I was debating, should I go live on this platform or that platform? And I finally decided to just go live on Restream and the old fashioned way. Allie from Miami just popped in. Thanks for coming through. And so I decided to go live from Restream specifically so I could have my overlays. And I was trying to add some media, but then it wouldn't upload. So then I could have went live from the freaking my phone. But then I was thinking I was going to multi live and do a live to TikTok from my phone, which I decided not to do because I already went live on TikTok today, and I'm still not completely clear on their new rule about using the green to screen. Because yeah, they even banned Lizzo's live the other day on her. Yeah, yeah, because I got in on Lizzo has. I love Lizzo, you guys, because I've always been a fluffy girl, and so I just love other fluffy, confident people that don't let the fluffy get in the way of their fabulous. And so she really speaks to my spirit with the way she is living her life out loud and proud, regardless of her size. I feel like that is the least of our worries these days. And it's a person's personal journey. It's, but anyway, so Lizzo, she popped out and showed somebody she lost all this weight, and she was on her Lizzo IRL page. She has a Lizzo corporate page and Lizzo IRL. And Lizzo IRL is her regular life, like just regular schmegular Lizzo. And her Lizzo corporate page is where she's uploading all those pre-made pictures and, stuff that's approved. So she opened up on TikTok a Lizzo IRL page and was like, I'm closing this at 50,000 subs. And I just happened to see it one day and I went and joined in. No, she said she was closing it at 10,000 and I got in around 7,000. And then we got to 10,000. She's like, I think I'll leave it open to 50. And then we got to 5,550, 5,000, no, 55,500. So the number is 555. She closed it again. And then she's like, well, so many people were DMing me that they missed it. They just found out about it that I opened it again. So she ended up reopening it. But then there ended up being a troll in her house who was leaking all the stuff that she was doing in there, which is supposed to really be like her real life, but kind of like just between us, right? So somebody was in there reposting all this stuff. And she got a mod, an investigator, and they ended up finding out who the person was, removed them from the thing, and she closed down that IRL. So then she goes over to Instagram just this morning. I get another ding from Lizzo IRL on TikTok. And it says, I did Lizzo IRL on Instagram. You better hurry. So I go over there from my main Instagram and I get in. And then by this afternoon, she had 10,000 people again. And she's like, it's closed forever. So anyway, I don't know. I just felt like I got in on something. So today, though, we're going to talk about who said that, Portia, Mama Diane, Shamia, Mama Sarah, NEne, Yandy, and Apollo. Now, so we're going to number these stories. This is a package deal. The Shamia, Portia, and the mom grudge is one whole story. So if you want to hear that story, that's number one. How NEne fits in is because NEne's freaking interviews with people get more views than RHOA is getting ratings right now, you guys. And we were going to talk about it. We'll make that the number two story. Yandy Medicis, or whatever her name is. Now, I was liking Yandy, and I feel like she's kind of like one of those glue girls, GLUE. Like, she is a common friend among several different friend groups. So I see her hang out with Quad. I see her hang out with Portia. I see her, she can like interface really well with different people across reality TVs. And those what I know of her is she stood by some knucklehead while he decided that jail was the place he wanted to be in a 10 by 10 on a with a hot and a cot instead of with his family and some warm poon poon. He went and did something reckless and ended up in jail. And then she stood by him the whole time she was on the show. And he got out, and they've been going through it since he got out. And Tasha K recently posted some girl's text message, video message, something about Medici allegedly being open to cheating with a not so powerful woman because she might have more time for him, is what I got from it. And Yandy, of course, didn't respond. And yeah. The link is dropped, Chanel. You don't see it in the chat already? Isn't the link at the top of the chat? I believe. Is it still up there? Yeah, it was at the top of the chat. I don't know. It's not giving me an option to pin it. It just wants me to star it. Oh, so did that pin it? Okay, yeah, that did pin it. Right on. I'm still learning StreamYard, you guys. But I can hide this message if it's going to be pinned. So, Yandy. So then all of a sudden, yesterday, I see this live of a guy who says he's been doing Yandy's hair for freaking ever. And he was upset that Yandy is playing innocent when he used to have to accompany her to London so that she could get with her boo thing and cheat on Medici for her to be acting all like she's not a cheater now. He was very upset about it. And then by this morning, his mom had told him that he's not that kind of person. So he kind of did a sorry, not sorry. So we're going to look at that. And then the other day, Queen Shireen, Apollo Nida's now ex-wife, because he hashtagged super divorce at the bottom of his post that we're going to take a look at. And he got caught in their marital home. So the divorce is final. You might remember that in February, around the same time that Apollo Nida and Shireen visited the couples trip on Married to Medicine, those episodes were airing simultaneously in real life, IRL. Shireen was filing for divorce, and in those divorce filings, she revealed that they had actually got married in 2022 and were separated by 2023, pretty much. That's what I read. And then we're trying to work it out, on again, off again. You know, you want your narcissist to be telling the truth this time. You want to be different for the narcissist this time. So they were back and forthing all the way through February 2025, where now she's all, oh, I need to get a divorce. You know, this isn't working. Part of the separation agreement did have them share the marital home until the assets were sold. And now, post divorce, it appears that the divorce decree, things are hard, and I guess the judges are taking it into consideration, or they want another kind of case to pop off. Because the judge decreed in the final divorce thing that they had to share the marital home. So he gets to live upstairs, not in the basement like Ralph, and she gets to live upstairs. And it's per the divorce decree. But I guess they had an agreement where, yeah, we're living separately, but we let's just respect the house and not bring nobody in there. Because I think there's still a minor child or something in there. I'm not sure if that's Shireen's daughter in there. I don't think they have any children together, and it's an older child. But he has somebody posted on his Instagram too that looks like a young child that might be Shireen's. I'm not sure. Anyway, so Shireen blew up Apollo's spot the other day and posted in the call was coming from inside the house footage of Apollo with another girl that looked kind of like Shireen. He has a type, and it's not Phaedra. So he had a girl in there that kind of looked like Shireen, and he was feeling her up in the kitchen and kissing her neck and putting his hands all over her. And Shireen released the pictures along with all the texts from right before that image and right after that image of Apollo begging to get back in her bed, her love, her life, her good graces. Let's work this out. I love you. You're the only woman. Just like all the stuff, like he didn't literally just have his hands on somebody else's mounds of glory. And he did. So yeah. So then he did a post and delete. And I think I was one of the only people that got it, because after she posted evidence of him, I immediately go over to him because I already know he's very Peter, he's very Ralph. He needs to be heard. He wants his time on the microphone checker too. He's not saying nothing except for arguing with women, but he wants his time too. So I knew he could not say nothing. I went right over to his page, and in true Apollo fashion, he did a post and delete where he's been watching her. But it wasn't in the house, Apollo. The call wasn't coming from inside the house, fool. She got you good. The call was coming from inside the house when you was filling up that lady in their kitchen. But when she's hugging up with some guy in a parking lot, that's not the same, Apollo. And I was just saying, of all the narcissistic husbands, Apollo irritates me the least for some reason. Ralph really chaps my hide. Um, and Dr. G, he really chapped my hide. But for some reason, maybe it's because we've known Apollo and his antics for so long that there's a part of him that his character has been so developed that there's a bit of caring, for his story, especially because of his kids or whatever, right? So we're going to be looking at that because he did a post and delete where he's obvious. I don't know if he's stalking her, if he hired a PI to catch a picture of her in a parking lot getting a hug from somebody, along with this long ass post about how na 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 na, blah blah blah. But he deleted that shit, you guys. And then it took him a day and a half, and he posted a whole 20-minute live where he's sorry, not sorry. Okay? He's sorry, not sorry, and let the excuses for my narcissistic love bombing behavior begin. And oh, by the way, you the problem. You're the whole problem. I act this way. And then just now I was a little late coming on because he just did another post and it's a woman telling women how they need to act if they really want to be loved. Please. Most women who really want to, most women who really just want to be loved, the main requirement is you keep your penis out of other women or men. Start there. Okay? You don't need to be posting no 20-minute videos about sorry, not sorry, and then tips from other women. Just keep your penis in your pants, bro. It's not hard. I mean, you have so many chances to keep that lizard in his locker. You have to unzip the pants, you have to unbutton the pants, and you have to open the pants, and then you have to wrestle that snake up out of there. So many chances to turn back. I was going to say abort, but that's not the right word in this situation. So many chances to turn back. But no, you let that little head down there do all the thinking. And then the only thing your big head can think to do is get on Instagram and do a sorry, not sorry, along with it's your fault that I to put this snake in other snake holes. I can't. I'm just glad that's not my life. Thank God that's not my life. Thank God that's not my life. Thank God that's not my life. I'm not sure why women, especially these gorgeous, beautiful women, need these lessons like that. You know? Melody had Martell. Drew has Ralph. Freaking Shireen has Apollo. And that's after Phaedra had Apollo and had the same exact issues. And that's after Angela Stanton thought she could trust Apollo and Phaedra and ended up in jail having her baby chained to a freaking thing. And Phaedra was supposed to represent him, and instead she married Apollo. And then it was a conflict of interest for her to represent Angela, who she promised she would take care of if anything ever happened. You guys go do your own research, but we're gonna get started. So nobody gave me no participation. So number one story first, number two story first, number three story first is Yandy. Number four story is Apollo. And then I have a surprise number five story that is for the old heads. So I'll just leave number five off. But where do you guys want to start today? Thanks for coming through. Make sure you're smashing that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in. Yep, Bianca, you're right. He's so stupid. He knows he was caught by the house cams with the lady on the couch. And he had the nerve to do it in the house again. I'm telling you, just slow. Or either he's just don't give a damn. I think it's both. The way he was trying to frame his sorry not sorry video, I'm positive he doesn't give a damn and is slow when it comes to thinking with both heads. Like he can't, he's definitely one of those men where the blood rushes to the other head doesn't have a good thought. You know what I'm saying? Like he just can't make a clear decision because it's so easy. There was cameras in the house last week. There's still cameras in the house this week, ass. You got caught last time, had to tussle the phone from her. That's what started this whole thing. Well, one of the things that made her dig her heels in. And then you're going to bring her to the same kitchen again, Apollo. Yeah, stupid don't learn. Yeah, let's get Apollo out the way. Right on, because it is 20 minutes. So let me go ahead, and I hope you guys will be able to hear this. Okay, so I could do this. Thought when I did that, you were supposed to shrink. And that's the other thing, like, I don't want this computer to start freezing. I might have to go old school. Yeah, the divorce is final, Miss Kiki. Thanks for popping in. because the volume isn't great here. We're just going to know it's going to be okay. And if anything freezes, there is a way for me to restart the stream and then it lets me back in. So let's fingers crossed. Let me take this off. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act. Allowance is made for fair use. Where's my freaking thingamabob? Here we go. Allowance is made for fair use, such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, and scholarship. And we are doing criticism, comment, and research on how not to date a narcissist. Okay, does that sound good? That sounds fair? Right on. Now, this is the first time that I'm going live to Facebook simultaneously. So hopefully you guys over there are having a good time also. Okay, now we're going to share this screen. Now, I really wanted to just download this because sharing the screen is when this thing goes a little freaking wonky. So just bear with any technical difficulties. I am appreciative you are here. When this starts, immediately let me know if you're unable to hear it. Because I have this volume on loudly. And let's do. Can you guys hear it? Emmanuel, thanks for coming in, Emmanuel. Can you guys hear it? I feel like the volume isn't great. Yeah, because he's talking and I can't hear him. Can you guys hear him? Yeah, I can't hear him. Wait. Yeah, this isn't great. Let me see what I can do. Can you guys hear him? I'm gonna have to come over here, X this. Now I had made us a whole little cute video, y'all. Uninterrupted. Hope everybody's doing well. Have a couple of things I would like to address. Quite frankly, just gonna give some people a chance to get on here and see miss body. The reason why I was off Instagram. Can you hear that better? Because I got a new phone and Meta changed up their algorithm and security features. Bianca, can you let me know if you can hear it now, please? Instagram. So I had to go through a bunch of little hoops and hurdles. It's probably almost like 2 years almost before I got my page back. But anyways, I'm here now. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of clear the air real quick, address a couple matters. I know there's a lot of things stirring up on the internet right now in regards to, Shireen and I. You know, I'll definitely dive into it and give you guys a lot of meat, when the time is appropriate. But I just want to, as a whole, can you hear that? Address some things for everybody out there. It's like people have this tendency to catch amnesia, when it best Awesome.
suits
Thanks,
them, it best
Bianca.
fits them. People also create this false narrative within their head. It's almost like when a person psychoanalyzes something, right? They'll do anything in their power to believe what they have fixated in their mind. It's almost like equivalent to the person going outside and saying, "Oh, the sky's red," and they really believe that the sky is red, but it's not. It's blue. So it's very easy to do. Especially when you manipulate it, especially when you want to make, get your point across, and you want to seem like, you know,
you're the victim or you're telling the truth about something. And that's the thing too, everybody screams victim. Everybody wants to be a victim, but nobody wants to hold themselves accountable and take into the accounts of what they've done, because everybody knows that there's an origin to every situation in life. There's a beginning to a story. It's, one, the other side and the truth, as they say. Um, but yeah, the truth will definitely be revealed. Uh, I feel like people in relationships, it's supposed to be an ebb and flow. One person might be the financial provider. One person might need to, take care of the home. The other person, uh, might need to, take care of the kids while the other person's out working, so forth, so on. It's supposed to collectively come together. But I can just speak for myself. I know since I came home from prison, I've been home for about, almost 5.5 years. I came home running, busting my ass every day, ups and downs, $2 million restitution, family issues, fighting with, for my, with Phaedra and stuff like that, the kids, just trying to transition back into society, getting acclimated. It's a lot that goes on in the everyday life of my life. Just trying to get, the mental back back stable. You know, I will attest to the fact that when people go through, it could be any type of diversity. I feel like it does take time to, kind of sift through it and come out, if you will. Um, and I think it's almost like, let's just say you take a person who's done, God forbid it ever happened to anybody, but I mean, it happens on a regular, but say someone had to do, 20 years in the penitentiary and then they come home. Do you think they're really going to be acclimated or they're mentally adjusted within 1 or 2 years? No, it's going to take some time, especially if they're faced with, you know, the everyday life obstacles, But yeah, I've always stood tall. Um, I know who I am as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what people learn from me. Some people come into situations where, you know, they just take, provide, provide education. I talk about provide stability. I have structure. There's certain things that I believe in that other people don't believe in. I feel like children should be raised a certain way. Um, and other people feel like children shouldn't be raised a certain way. People feel like children should that we're at a new age in time that you should just let kids continue to be. There's one thing about being expressive, about a child being expressive and expressing their emotions and feelings, but there's a it's a thin line between being expressive and being disrespectful and understanding your position. But that's for another segment. But yeah, mainly, I'm just really sick of people sitting here pointing the finger all the time, screaming victim. How do you, for example, how do you post something, give the world access to your life, and then you can't withstand the scrutiny? I mean, that's like an oxymoron, right? That's like me going out here doing something. I'll give you an example. Shit, when I caught my case, this is some knowledge for y'all people. Y'all need to wake up sometimes. When I caught my case, how can I be mad? I'm a public figure and it's all on the internet, all on the news, all across the world. How can I get mad at the negative things that people say? So, but I don't have a problem when someone says something positive. So it's an ebb and flow. You got to take the good with the bad, especially if you put yourself out there to the public, especially if you display and you broadcast your business, your personal business, the things that goes on within your home, the things that goes on within your relationships. People need to be cognizant of that. They don't need to, go out here and share, with the world the things that goes on in their, you know, in the close confines of their relationship and their houses, things like that. I feel like certain things should be held a little more sacred and be discussed amongst each other versus, put out there. But yeah, People calling me right now, trying to disturb me while I'm, doing what I'm doing. But yeah, feel like hey, if everybody wants to put shit out there and air it out, we can air it out, do what we want to do. I got a platform. I got a mouth. I got a platform. I don't mind telling the truth because I know what I've done. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I've tried to do. I stayed up in Philadelphia for a year and a half before I came back to Atlanta, and people know, the whole premise of that just because I felt like, it's not fair for a person to just uproot and move everything that they work for just to come with me down to Atlanta. Um, you know, so everybody has sacrifices. I'm not out here continuously pointing the finger. I'm not out here, posting stuff, saying, wild stuff on. Look at my page. I don't say anything. I don't sit here and try to make a mockery out of a situation. At the end of the day, you know, uh, you would think people would be more close knitted and take better care of one another, even if you're friends, family, whatever it may be. And again, people can continue to think something negative. I've said nothing negative in this live. I've been nothing but straight to the point, straight to the point. Again, it goes. The premise of this is that people have to wake up sometimes. They can't. People can't point the finger all the time. That's what they want to do. They want to point the finger. Please stop calling me. Stop calling me. I have nothing to say. Nobody wants to talk when I'm trying to call people. They don't want to answer the phone, but now all of a sudden I'm supposed to answer the phone. Come on. That's the thing. Manipulation goes a long way too. Ladies, y'all have to stop manipulating these men out here. You have to stop sitting here, talking about narcissistic behavior. Narcissistic behavior. Guess what? If you're sitting here calling someone a narcissist, I guarantee you that you emasculated. Because emasculation is a real thing. Y'all women emasculate men. Not everybody, but it's true. It's a real thing. It's the same way that you can categorize narcissistic behavior, you can categorize, emasculation. So, you gotta give and take. So, for me, this is not about this is about the truth. This is not, sitting here trying to bash nobody or anything like that. This is about, listen, everybody, even myself. Sometimes, I can point the finger and not take the blame for certain things. Am I at fault for shit? Definitely, most definitely. I'm at fault for a lot of things that happens in my life. The Quran and the Bible, they all say that they say that the calamity is caused by one's hand. So it's based on what they have done and or what they're a part of. So, you know, um, it is what it is. I'm just tired of, continuously waking up and it's like negative shit all the time. Um, I'm trying to just be positive. And again, I'm not out here, putting shit out here for the world to see. Well, now I am. It's time, because I have a voice, I have a platform, I have a big platform actually, and I just don't exercise it all the time. But I think it might be time because look, man, I'm in a different headspace right now. I think I'm just tired of people just thinking I'm like a pinata and just hanging there. You could just keep swinging that mother, you know what I'm saying, and just to just burst open. I mean, I am human at the end of the day. I do have feelings, despite what people may think and what I've been through in life. I do definitely, so that's about it. I'm gonna tap in later, see how this goes. Hopefully, some people in the world will come to their senses a little bit, and look at things in totality, you know. And then you got other family members and stuff jumping on bandwagons. People need to stay in their place because you only get one side of it, right? But again, I know what I've done. I know what I've sacrificed. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I've tried to do. You got to take the good and the bad. What does it say? When people get married, they say for sickness and in health, for better, for worse, right? It's good and bad. You can't always be on a winning team, and then when you're down by 20, you're just giving up. Throwing a pincher tantrum. or do you just, stick in there and try to come back? I have this saying, right, that I hate. I don't hate the saying, but uh, I hate how the story pans out. But it's more so like, we could be in the middle of the ocean, right? In a boat, we got 4 oars, and you got your partner in there, and you got 2 holes in it, and you got 2 buckets. It's like, sometimes I feel like in relationships, one person is dumping all the water out and rowing at the same time, while the other person is sitting there screaming and yelling and complaining instead of either helping row to shore or dumping the water out, trying to save. It's more so just pounding, pounding, pounding versus trying to uplift and help the individual, get to safe grounds. And, the woe is me is always what a person's not doing for them. You're not doing this for me. You're not doing that for me. You're not doing this. I feel like too, y'all people out there in the world, stop putting people in your business. If you're going to put somebody in your business, it needs to be somebody that's going to be non-biased or someone that's going to pat you on the back and be like, yo, you're wrong for that, right? You know that wasn't right. You know what you said wasn't right. You know what you said was emasculating, right? You know that was really cruel what you said to that person. You respect for that person will bounce back. I will say this. Speaking of bouncing back, in verbiage, I had a friend to tell me something, man, and this was so prolific. They said to me, I'll never yell at you. I'll never talk down on you. If I feel like I need to get to that point, they said, listen, I'm just going to walk away and don't come for me, don't come after me, just let me digress, let me walk away, right? And I was just like, why? Why not the confrontation? It was like, because if I say something negative to you, you can't retract the words that you say to people. You can't take back verbiage. You can't take back harsh and mean things that are said to a person. So they're saying to me, they say, look, I look at the future. I want to see you 5 years from now. I want to see you 10 years from now. I want to have a future with you as a friend. So how can I have a future with you as a friend if I'm sitting here bashing you or if I'm saying cruel things to you? It's just not going to work because that's not love. That's not what it, again, granted, we're probably all guilty of it, right? But it's not too late to readjust. It's not too late to change, your direction and the things that you say, to people. Not too late. It's not too late to be kind. It's not too late to apologize. And that's the thing too. A lot of people, men and women, I see it in women more than men, that you all are non-apologetic. And again, this is not for everybody. So don't sit here and say, oh, he's going after a woman. He's going after a woman. No, definitely not. I think women are special. I think women are beautiful. And again, I do not have to be suppressed. I do not have to shut my mouth. Okay? I don't. Okay? I don't have to do any of that. I can say whatever I want to say. Freedom of speech. So anyways, yeah, I just, I wish everybody well on this amazing Friday. Have a great holiday weekend. Be safe out there. And again, I'm gonna definitely, this is just kind of like, you know, just shaving some of the coconut, off a little bit, little flakes. But yeah, we can get to the whole, to the meat of it at some point, most definitely. I think that's gonna be great. Again, it's not to offend anybody. It's just sometimes you gotta wake up, you gotta look at what you do sometimes versus always what the other person does. And again, you don't sit here and, you know, like I told you, you can't get mad if something's publicized and people have their own narrative. And, the media people, the fans or whoever it may be out there, the people that entertain this foolery, right? I can't get mad if I throw my business out there and you all have an opinion on it. I should have kept my mouth shut and or kept my fingers to myself and not been posting shit. You know what I'm saying? But hey, again, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of questions that I have based on things. I'm gonna live my life. It is what it is. Uh, so hey, we'll just figure it out. I love everybody. I appreciate the support I do get. Um, shit ain't easy. It definitely ain't easy out here. That's for sure. Everybody knows that. It's definitely difficult. Um, but and then the people that know me, they know what I stand for. They know exactly what I stand for. And a lot of times too, I'm self-taught. I go get it out. I go get it how I get it. Pick up a book, I read, I study. Building these houses, that shit ain't easy. That ain't easy. You know, Education, hard work, not being afraid to go out there and try. You can't be afraid to fail. Can't be afraid to fail. You know, Failure is what brings success. So, just remember that and just stay cool. And oh yeah, congratulations to everybody who's graduating today, graduating this year. Pat yourself on the back. Remember, when you're getting down on yourself, you got to pat yourself on the back for your accomplishments. Don't let people get you down. Don't let people tear you down. You have to reward yourself. And we're not talking about monetary, mentally. You have to mentally pick yourself up. You have to tell yourself that you're doing good. You have to tell yourself, great job, because other people might not tell you how good you are as a person. People might not tell you, they appreciate you as an individual. They appreciate what you bring to the table. So pat yourself on the back, especially if you know you got a good heart and you know you don't mean harm to nobody. So congratulations to everybody out there who's doing well. And I want everybody to be safe out here for the holidays and just, enjoy your family time, enjoy your time with your friends. Some people want to be alone, enjoy your time. You deserve it. Everybody deserves to have some type of peace. Everybody deserves to have some love in their life too. And so just, stay firm. And I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Okay, you guys. So that was Apollo, and he didn't have a point, but I wanted to. He said a couple more things, but yeah, no, that's it. So, how do I get my face back on here? You guys still with me? He is long-winded. Because he wants attention. He wants a freaking attention. Let me see. Can I get that in here? Yeah, because I only have like 4 followers over there. Hmm. Yeah, where is it? How do I? Oh, you know what I can do? I can do it from the phone I'm on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I can go here. No, I can go here. I can go here. I can go. Does it say share? Thank you guys for coming through. So what do you think of that malarkey? He can't let anybody have the last word. He's one of those fools that the argument would be never ending. He won't just say he's wrong. He won't take any accountability. It's all your fault. And if you have anything to say about the fault that he makes it that's yours, then he will not let you have the last word. He has to have the last word. So him doing this live and leaving it up. He left it up. I'm going to show you the other post he took down. Let me get to that real quick. I'm trying to get this link for you guys to my business channel with my 4 people on it. Let's see. So if I say from here, do I say share? And then I say copy. And then I go back to our live here. And then I put it in the chat. And then from there, I think one of my mods can copy it and make it linkable, because I'm not a mod, even though I could make me a mod from in here, I think. Let me stop sharing before shit freezes. Before shit freezes, let's stop that. I be holding my breath when I press that thing. Emmanuel will tell you. Me and Emmanuel, and I think, was it me, Emmanuel, and Sebastian weren't alive? before he returned and my thing froze. Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. This damn technology. Because AI is pulling all the power, you guys. AI is pulling all the power. So, okay, now let me see. Did it even? It's so weird. I can't see any. Oh, there they are. Give me just a second. All right. Thank you, Palaver. I mean, Bianca, for getting that to her. Yeah, he is going the same circle he's ever been in, looking for the next appeasing hole. Because it's not a wormhole Apollo needs. Apollo needs a whole hostess or host. We're not sure. It could be anything. I'm not judging. Everybody's making it everybody's business. That's the only reason I'm mentioning it. I don't want to leave nobody out of hurt his feelings. If it's not a hostess's hole that will please him nowadays. So, whether it's a host or a hostess's hole, Apollo needs the person to be appeasing. I believe that's the right word. We can look it up. The other meanings that I put in the chat from my business account page, The Larger Life, where we talk about finance and how you can set up your retirement accounts and recover the estimated $25,000 that you may have lost messing with the current administration since December. So there's a way to not only recover it, but to guarantee it, protect it, and not lose another penny and only gain. And those are the things I love to talk about also, along with this other stuff. But when I start talking about the financial stuff, people start clicking off. So I just keep it all over here. No wonder Dr. Heavenly stays messy. I see. I see the formula you guys like. I see the formula. So, okay. Apollo said a couple of things. Thanks again for everybody being here. He mentioned emasculating, and that's what he put in the post and delete that he did too. Let's see if she'll let you see this post and delete he did. Yeah, so he needs an appeasing hole, whether it's a host or a hostess, appease. Appease. Appease means to pacify or placate someone by acceding their demands, okay? To relieve or satisfy. So he needs somebody who's going to relieve or satisfy his demands. So when we first met Shireen, she wanted to be that for him. There was something in him that resonated with her that she was like, look, I don't think that I want to let this man be alone during this journey because something in her heart or her mind or something was drawn to his story and wanted to appease his nature and let him know that he had somebody to be there for him, right? And now they're divorcing, so he's on to the next, looking for the next person who's going to placate him in a relationship. Appeasing can be you just pacify him and do what he wants instead of what you want. So then by the time you do nuck if you buck, now they're all upset because you train them that you just go along with anything. So then you talk back and they're like, whoa, 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 wait, you don't usually talk back, and then there's a problem. And then they need the last word, which is what we're seeing now with Apollo and that long-winded talk. So he talked about being emasculated. And I put that definition in here. Let's see. Here it is. So weakening a man's perceived power, confidence, or ability to fulfill traditional masculine expectations. So he's saying this is in response to what Shireen put. She posted a picture of his hands on another woman's titties in there can, as per the divorce decree, And his response is to say that he's emasculated. You guys, can you imagine? No wonder they're not answering each other's calls because the gas that would be filling the room, listening to the nonsense. Listen, her posting what he did is a problem. She posted one of the she is in Shireen, posted a meme that said, "Oh yeah, narcissist being mad at you telling somebody exactly what they did and said is classic narcissistic behavior." And that's he's like saying that he's attacked and emasculated for her revealing that his truth is other women's necks and tits and but she's wrong. And oh, don't take it to the public. But then he has a 20-minute conversation with nobody in public, leaves it up. And she didn't say nothing in hers. She just posted some text messages. And here, I'm going to show you this. I looked up appease. We talked about emasculate. He also said that she claims that he's a narcissist. And I've said that I thought he was a narcissist. Narcissistic behavior involves an exaggerated sense of self importance, a deep need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. Okay, so in that sense, I mean, I feel like we all need to be a narcissist a little bit, only in the good way. Like, you can't be all of these things. But I feel like we do need an exaggerated sense of self importance in a world that loves to have a foot on people's necks and dreams and talents and loves to stifle and loves to rub the butterfly dust off of wings as to handicap and, you know, further debilitate one from shining their true expression of what God put us here for. So I feel like we do need that. But if it's along with the lack of empathy and a deep need for admiration, then I think you might have a problem. But if you start off, and all the roads are always paved, right? So if you start off just with an exaggerated sense of self importance. I feel like that plays into the affirmations I say every day that I'm a millionaire, that I'm wildly successful, that everything I do touches to gold. I got the Midas touch in the best way, that I'm optimally healthy. I'm my ideal weight. You know what I'm saying? Like I affirm this every day. And it is an exaggerated sense of myself and the importance therein. So I feel like, I just want to be honest with that personal observation of what the first thing on the list for a narcissist is. I feel like I kind of have it. But I do also have so much empathy that I can't sleep at night when I find out cousins are homeless. Like I'm on a list trying to get them on a Section 8 something or, into a program or something. And usually my caring pays off. So I feel like it's part of my superpower also. Oh, look, Allie from Miami's in the back. Let you up here, darling.
Hey friend, how you doing? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday and happy Memorial Day. If anybody has any family members or they themselves have any family members that were lost serving for this great nation that was built by a lot of fantastic people, then I just, shout out for this Memorial Day. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I saw the topics. I just waiting for the NEne part of it, of course, because NEne's the best. He's my favorite.
Well,
And of
she is next.
yes. And of course was Apollo. I mean, I really was trying to listen, but I couldn't. After a while, it was just noise. You know how remember the Charlie Brown cartoon and when the dogs were talking, it
Yeah.
would go womp 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 womp.
Yeah.
That's all I heard.
No way. Was it like that for everybody? Because I was listening on my device and I heard it great on
No,
my
no, no.
alternate
He was
phone.
just rambling on. It was sounding
Oh,
like
is it what is
what
it? Okay, okay, okay. Ah, you funny, funny. You
yeah,
funny. He was very womp womp womp.
and he was just throwing word. I can't. And I really want people, not everybody, but some people really like to use these buzzwords like emasculating and gaslighting and narcissist. I really need them to understand what the word means. Don't just throw it out there because your feelings were hurt when someone calls you out on your BS and
Right.
tells the truth, don't call it emasculating because your feelings are hurt that you kind of got your ass showed out. I'm sorry,
Right.
but it's enough. It's absolutely enough. I'm just exhausted because you can't. I mean, I don't feel bad for any of them. Sharif, Faye, Apollo. They're just to me just messy.
Right.
The only one I'm always going to feel sorry for is for the children because they have to deal with it to some degree.
Mhm. Mhm.
But after that, I really don't care. I mean, you made a decision to be with Cherie. You could have decided to at least officially divorce Phaedra before you start a new relationship or try to really work with it. And then when you're with
Right.
Shireen, who's trying to be a partner to you decide to act like a fool. And this woman's trying to hold you down while you were in prison. Because they got together, and then after that, he went to prison. She stayed while you were in prison for what 3 years, and then this is this is how you show your thanks to Shireen for being loyal. Okay,
Uh,
see that's why you can't. That's why you can't do. That's why you have to worry about me and mine. You can't worry about nobody else.
yeah.
Leave
Like,
me
and
alone.
he's all talking about everything he said, pretty much that I did let get in was like, why are you the one saying this? This is what you're doing right now. He's like, don't bring it to the public. And he's talking for 20 minutes to nobody. And then he's all, keep our business. And we don't need to know. And, oh, you're the narcissist, sir, because he's lacking empathy for her seeing his hands on the 11 woman's tits. And instead of just being like, I'm sorry, he's continuing this attack on her, like without saying her name. It's an attack on her because who else could he be talking about?
I don't know. I mean, the one thing I'm thinking too, he is a narcissist to some degree, or at least full of it. Because
Yeah,
if you want peace in your life, you had the opportunity to do that. You could just chose to like not come on reality TV again with to marry the medicine. He could have just said, "No, I want peace. I've been there, done that. It messed up my first relationship. I don't want to have to deal with Phaedra more than I need to." And it is kind of worrisome because I always like to know that Dr. Heavy always have a ring of truth. I don't remember ever Dr. Heavy being an absolute liar. She may get
right,
facts wrong, but not a straight out liar like Phaedra. So
right,
when she said that Apollo said he cannot make any moves without Phaedra, that lets me know the dynamic of his household. Another woman is making moves in his household. I'm surprised Shireen even
yeah.
lasted that long because it couldn't be me. It could not be me.
Well,
The
did you hear me
disrespect.
when I said that they've actually been separated? They got married in 2022 and they got separated by 2023 and have just been kind of sharing the house on again, off again since like November 2023, you guys. So it's been a while.
Yeah, but it wasn't 2022 when he finally got out of prison?
Yeah. Well, I
Because
don't know when he got out
he
of
went
prison,
because he went in around when? When he went in? He was gone for a while. I forgot when he
Yeah,
actually
like
went in.
8 years. Way long. Wasn't he longer
Yeah,
than Joe Giudice?
I don't know. It had to be sometime around season 9 because that's when everything blew up with his stuff is at Candy's house because Todd kept it there and it was a whole 9 yards. But I felt like
Uh-huh.
around 2022 he finally, and I think around the pandemic he got out of prison because Peter Thomas was saying he finally got out, right? So it makes sense
When
around
Peter Thomas
2022.
just reported.
Oh yeah,
Peter
he
Thomas
finally.
just reported for 18 months of jail for doing the tax thing.
Mm, 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 mm.
Here, let me share what Shireen posted that triggered Apollo, and then we'll go on to meaning of it. Because the reason Nene's on the thumbnail is because her thing with Cynthia got more views than the ratings for like the episodes for
It's amazing.
and I'm just like, that is a lot. Now, if we get frozen, just bear with me. I will do what I can do if that's anything. Let me hide this message. And okay. Mhm. So it is. Yeah, you guys can't hear this, but so last season so
Mm,
these are
mm,
the
mm, mm.
pictures. Huh?
Oh, I'm just saying. Mm, 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 mm.
So these pictures is what she posted. So yeah, copyright disclaimer. She did not post and delete. At the end of this video, we're gonna see what I've only seen on my page so far of him actually. I don't know if he's stalking her or what, you guys, but let's go through. So I'll talk us through this video as it plays out. The first photos we're gonna see are. Can I make it big? Okay, so this is Shireen, just a female with big dick energy. This is the picture that was captured on the in-house. Come on, play this picture. And look at this lady's face. If you guys get a chance, if you could blow this up on your things, that lady doesn't even look into it. It almost looks
Mm,
like a setup. She
mm.
doesn't look like there's not like a ooh, I'm not getting a feeling of like ooh, hurry up and get in these sugar walls. I'm not getting that feeling, you know? Um it's kind of maybe anyway. So says that it happened on 5/17/2025 at 1:36:56 a.m. So at 2 a.m. You know the only thing open after one is legs. That's what Cynthia says. Only thing open after one is legs. So then, but he's crazy because this is what's on the camera, what his actions are. But he's sending her a text that says, I never brought a woman to our house. Friday, like right before that happened. And then on Saturday, he's doing this. Did you see where the placement of those hands were on the other woman's breasts? And then this is Saturday after the woman leaves. He's texting her all of this stuff that he's like, I'm not dealing with any woman. You're number one. I don't want to be out here dealing with all these random people. And it's just like, oh my gosh, get your together, dude. You have children watching at this point. You have children watching. Okay? None of the actions were cool. My actions are not who I am as a person. Okay? He's always having an excuse. And she said, your action is what you are revealed as a person. Stupid. Meanwhile, he's doing this. I neglected you. I did. I'm so sorry. I love you. I want us to work our relationship, get back together. I need you and my family back. The need is better than want. He didn't love, he feeds. On attention, he doesn't love, he feeds. On attention, admiration, and something else she said that I thought was kind of powerful. Admiration and easy access.
Mm,
Ooh.
mm.
I
Easy
really do
access.
love you and miss you so much. Just wanted to tell you. See how I make his voice sound dumb? He just wanted to tell you. Does that sound dumb, Allie? Just
It
wanted
does. I
to
was
tell
trying not to
you.
laugh. I was really trying not to laugh, but I'm like, yeah, because that's what
I
he
love
sounds
you.
like.
Right? I
Because he
really
does
can't
this.
see my life without you.
Crazy. Mm, 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 mm. Messy, 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 messy,
I'm
messy.
sorry I hurt you. Okay, so 3 days later, damn lady, I love you, Shireen. I love you. Where are you at currently? I miss you. I love you. Really, I do. Overall, I love you. I want to be committed to my relationship. I love that little girl. Now he's bringing the children into it. I just want to tell you that I love you and appreciate you supporting me when I was in prison and come visit me and taking my phone calls, talking to me that time out of your life, dedicating yourself to me. I really appreciate that. So he's trying to reignite their trauma bond. I really
Mm,
appreciate that. And I thank you so much. I love you for that. Like,
mm.
that is like really nasty work to go back that far on her. Because
Yeah, because
obviously she's a different woman than that.
yeah, because that's what I'm saying. I think like she was with him in a way while he was in prison, and I think after he got out, he finally married her.
Yeah.
That's crazy, and then it didn't even last. But it's like what I was thinking is he doesn't want a partner. He just wants someone to be like affirming his feelings and
Right.
like we said, wants easy access. He is not mature enough, even in his big age, mature enough to be a partner with someone. And I decided to watch back season 6 when that was a really good season, of course. And that time the prince was born with Phaedra, and I really could see how their relationship was already crumbling. He was just not getting it, and Phaedra was trying to make it work. But it's hard when you're trying to work a job, trying to finish up school, you have 2 small kids under the age of 3, and then you got this man child, and you have to deal with
Yeah.
his emotions. And she's wondering
Right?
like,
And he
"Wha
doesn't even have his shit together. He's pulling a Ralph right now
mm,
where, oh, I thought you were so successful and had your shit going on together and you can't even like move out, bro. Like, really? So he's right here saying, what do you think about us moving into Miller Road? She's like, we're not together. And if you want me to rent it for 5,500, I'll rent it to you. I'm leaving on Thursday to check out places out of town. Like,
mm,
so he's still like trying to ensnare her in financial responsibility. And knowing him, he would probably like not pay the rent. It's in her name. Like, he just seems like such somebody you just wanted. You need to cut all ties with him.
mhm,
You can't just be going back and forth with a person like this.
no." And I think with Ralph and Drew, their situation is the same but different because I think they owned a home and it was the court order the court order said for him to stay, but I think when I was listening to Attorney Simone, it has to do with the house. It has definitely reason why he can't leave the house because they can't even figure out what to do with the house. Something about them not wanting to sell it or buy each other out. That's why they're kind of staying. They're like, I think they're in a way fighting for the house, both Drew and Ralph, and that's why they're both staying there so they could figure out what to do with it. I mean, if I was
Yeah,
Drew, I would just say, Just sell it. Just sell the house, give me the equity, and make me go about my business." The
yeah,
less things I have tied to, because you already got the children tied to this man. So why these things just pay me out, just sell the house, pay me out, let me get my own place. I'll figure it out. I'm on Housewives. I make good money. I'll be all right. I Because peace is priceless. But that's me. That's why I'm on reality TV. That's why I live this little boring life through my POVs because I make too much sense.
yes, yes, right. And then he's like, I don't care about the other woman. All I care about is my paycheck and getting out of debt and money back and taking care of my family. I don't give about no bitch. And then she's like, ladies, stop giving your bodies to dusty boys. Like they
But
look good in their tight baby shirts, girls. That should be the new red flag is a baby shirt. A baby shirt is the new red flag. If he shows up in a baby shirt and he has big biceps, it's the warning. Okay? And the women that he's sleeping with, you're not different. Your supply. That is
mm,
deep.
mm.
That's deep. That just gave me chills. Your supply. Some old Sinners reference right there. Freaking energy vampires sucking the life out of these goddesses. Everywhere you go, leaving a string of trauma bonded goddesses, a shell of who they once were, fucking with your lies. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Supply. That's
Mm.
deep. And look, if she's to the point where she recognizes that she too was a supply, that is a lot. You
I
know,
guess it's better
that,
late than never.
yeah, that's a healing place to be. Let the healing begin, right? In all of those meetings for like Narcs Anonymous, they need a LA, Lovers Anonymous. People who love too fast, too hard, and narc, right? It started Narcotics Anonymous, have a narcissist Anonymous, where you recover from being with a narc.
Mm.
He's love texting her. And I bet he equally rage texts her too. This is an indication. I bet he also rage texts her just like this. No answers. And I bet she has a thread of this full of rage also. But this is all, I would give anything to start over. You're the best thing. I need good to allow you to forgive me, God. So then he's bringing in God. I'm sad. Now he's making himself, he's the victim. I'm sad and hurt. I'm a family man. Now he's like tapping on your children vein, your motherhood thing. Is this is a rough look around. Who do I have? Please listen to me. That's like him flailing, you guys. That's a narcissist out of control. They love their little control. And he's
Mm-hmm.
literally trying every single heartstring of their relationship that he's aware of. God is important. I bet they did a thing where they were like, oh, let's go to church together. I bet they did it. Okay, as long as you're a good dad, I'll overlook some stuff. Every single thing he is right here trying to use now against her, freeing herself from his narcissistic behavior. That's nasty. That's a lot.
So weird.
But look, and then this is what he's doing though. So his words is all that. And if she didn't have no cameras and had a moment of what we would call weakness, because he did literally tug every single heartstring. And if these cameras weren't here and she didn't see this, then she could have very well continued to be a victim of his supply. And
Mm-hmm.
all the people in the chat, they were very like, oh, what'd you expect? He did the same thing to Phaedra. Da, da, da. And all that's neither here nor there because actually the part of Phaedra and his relationship is also the convenience. So he could so he could she couldn't testify against him when Angela Stanton, who was also part of that ID theft ring, ended up having to go to jail. Angela only went to jail because Phaedra, in the beginning, when everything was happening, Phaedra was at all the meetings, let Angela tell it. And they didn't let her go to jail. So she, lawyer, if they got caught. And when they got caught, she only represented Apollo and his brother. So that whole relationship with Phaedra was a whole different relationship, too. You know what I mean? Like, that was like, there was love there, but there was also allegedly a criminal bond benefit to, for one, not have to testify against him, and for two, now you married him. And so when Angela didn't get a call back, ultimately the reason ended up being was because it would be a conflict of interest for her to represent Angela also. Yep. So Angela ended up having her baby chained to a bed in jail. So I feel like that, yeah, that was that. And she did know what she was getting into, and it doesn't make it okay.
Wow. Mm, mm, mm,
That's a
mm.
lot to be doing in the kitchen.
They
Like,
don't give you drugs in when they in jail and they have baby. They don't give them drugs, do they?
no, I don't think so. I mean, people do get them in all different holes, I believe, if let the movies tell it. But yeah.
No, like you know how if she having the baby, you know how they restrict them from having certain type of
Uh-huh.
drugs. I don't know if they give an exception if she's having a baby and it's really painful. You know what I'm saying? Because with inmates, there's so many things they cannot do.
Oh, well, she had their baby chained to a hospital bed in their, in their hospital thing, but
Uh
she was
huh.
chained to a bed. So this was her playing a video, and she
Can
was
you
playing that
imagine?
song by Kendrick Lamar. So this is what I wanted to see. And the only reason I watermarked this is because literally he did a post and delete. This was posted like 7 minutes
Mm.
after she posted her video. And he says right here in the line that you can't see, here, let me slow down the speed maybe. So it takes forever. There, and then I'll let it play. And I think that line will disappear now. There we go. So this is a picture that he took, I guess, And this is her kissing somebody, but they're outside, not in the kitchen. So I don't think he has a point. And he posted this on his page, you guys. They're at someplace, Suite 204. That's a nice car. She looks good. Go, girl. Get your glow on. I didn't even really get into the comments on it, but look, and then he did hashtag super divorce, hashtag really, hashtag your house. Trying to emasculate a man is a real thing. Also, telling your version should be a sin. There is an adverse effect to people's actions, and one must be conscious of that, as well as the decision they make and the barriers in which they cross. Part 1 of 10, Queen Shireen. 6 minutes ago, you guys. And he posted this shit and deleted it. It's now gone. There's no remnants of it. And I wonder if it was because it does prove, like, who took this picture? Is he stalking her? Like, who did this? Like, that's kind of scary. If we're not together and you're like taking pictures of me and then posting them on your thing, that's very Martell Holt. That's very Martell Holt. And so this post is still on his page, the one of the people in the red. And now the next post after that is um this video that he did. Yeah, but he sure did do a posting. What do you think of that, Allie?
It is creepy because I was thinking the same thing. Like, did he follow her and then took that picture? Because say they were going out to dinner, he stay outside until they came
Uh-huh.
out? That's stalk.
That's stalkerish,
That's
right?
stalkerish.
And then he has the
Because look, there's a car in front of
yeah, there's a
him.
so it looks like he's posted up waiting for that. So I wanted to make sure to show you guys all that. And that's all available on the page if you guys want to go through. There's commentary to go through with it. Um, but here now I'm gonna, and then he just posted this today, right before we went live, because he's not stopping. He's like, well, maybe they don't want to hear it from me, a man. Maybe they just want to hear it from a woman. So he posted this.
That wants to love and provide for you. If ladies want a man to provide, then you gotta let that man also protect. Because you can't ask to have all your bills paid, but then you don't want this man to be able to put boundaries around what is conducive for him to be activated in a way that wants to love and provide for you. Just because he's present doesn't mean he's a father. You saying what time are you getting home? What time you getting home, baby? If it was familiar to her, it was because her father asked that. It's familiar to me because I had a real father to protect it, who provided. For women who have fathers who are really in their life who say, baby, that's too much. Or he says, what time you get home? Or that's too late. Or my dad would even tell me, baby, listen, you get more bees with honey when it comes to a man. He said, that's why you being strong. But when I see you in your relationships, you wear the pants, baby. It's okay if that's what you want. But if you ever want to switch it up and get a different kind, you got to let them overall go a little bit. But see, that's a real father who's telling me right for wrong. So my point of telling you is when a man comes in and says, why did you pick up your phone? To fatherless girls, that's controlling. Right. To a woman who had a father who loved her, who served me, who doted on me. To me, you're a husband. Now, if you let me go out to 10, 12, 11 o'clock at night and you don't show any concern, guess what? I'd ask you not to call me no more. Because how come you weren't concerned about your woman? You have an intent of wanting to marry or an intention of being a family man or a husband. So I'm just showing you men out there, when you get women who are not used to what protection looks like, you don't need to down her or you don't need to disempower her, but you need to check with yourself and say, wait a minute, I want a woman who is open and receptive to a man protecting her. If ladies want a man to provide.
So he had the nerve to post that just today, you guys. I'm like, he can't stop, won't stop. Can't let her have the last words. I don't know, because she did post something else on her page too, but it was like mild. It was like, I'm so glad God woke me up, you know. And here he goes again. Oh, she said something. Let me respond. Yes, the we dropped the link. Anybody else who wants to come up is definitely welcome. So yeah, I wanted to share that Apollo story. Let me see. Now we can look at. I want to prove to you what I'm talking about. So let me open this real quick. make this like this, drag this off here. I mean, I just closed it. I don't know why I did that. Make us back over here. Thanks for being here. Reality with Krista Marie. Are we going live tomorrow now? You said you can't stand it. There's something else that we need to do? Huh? What happened? You sent me a text. Something happened. Somebody's lying on something. And did you see that I told you I didn't want to waste my time? This is for Krista Marie. I love you, girl. I didn't want to waste my time watching the damn Valley because I feel like it was going to be like the Vanderpump Rules where nothing was what it seemed and it was all fugazi, fakey McFuckerson stuff going on. And we wasted like 15 episodes and it was pretty much scripted because none
Mm.
of it was reality. And now we get the people over there on the valley are all blowing up the spot now that the season's coming to an end, talking about they're mad that Jax isn't showing his real life. But they all knew it during the season and didn't hold him accountable, obviously, because they talking about it now. And I'm just like, see, I'm glad I didn't waste my time getting caught up anyway with any portion of their fakery McFakersons, you know? But it was a lot. It was a lot. So now we're gonna look at NEne Leaks. I want to share my screen again. Share my screen again. Share my screen again. Making the link for Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday will be good. That'll be good for me. Yeah, because the school year is pretty much finished. We went to this end of the year picnic on Friday, me and the 12-year-old. That was super duper fun. We always have fun together. Like, Mom, we always have fun together. I was like, oh, so sweet. Mom be feeling old sometimes, y'all. Ah, okay, so here, let's look over here. Okay, can you guys see the screen okay?
I could see
Okay,
it.
right on. Now, I don't know if it's freezing or not. Not yet. Well, this little box won't close, but wonder what'll happen if I press this. Nope. Okay, it's not frozen now. So, before it gets any crazier, if we go over to NEne Leaks page, she has 257,000 subscribers. So that's well over, slightly over a quarter of a million, right? One single woman, over a quarter of a million, has kept her staying power with a quarter of a million subs. As a person who hasn't been on the show since season 12, they're currently in season 16. So that's four and a hiatus. 4 seasons and a hiatus, and has kept her 257,000 ish subscribers. Now, I should have made a note of what the numbers were before she started her show because I'm positive they've grown. But still, I know that she had uh, 6 digits followers before she started her show. So, what we're looking at is these views. So, this is a one woman show, a brand new production. And she had a show 4 days ago, 108,000 views. And this is with the lady Nida and Delish. Delish was from Flavor of Love. My water broke for my oldest son to Flavor of Love, you guys. It was a Monday, and the ladies were standing on the carpet. It was the season the girl shit on the carpet. Remember that nasty girl? She had shit on the carpet. And my water broke. I was like, it's time, it's time. And I didn't get to finish watching the episode. It was funny. But anyway, so that's where Delicious is from. And then Nivea, I believe, she's a Sanger girl. And she was in that show where they like made a record recently and like wasn't anyway, she's a Sanger girl. So that had 108,000 views. She had a show with none other than Cynthia Bailey 2 weeks ago now and got 500,000 views, 531,000 views. Now, this is now since that time, 530,000 views. But I remember when this happened, she had like 250,000 views overnight for the Cynthia Bailey thing. It was trending high. They talked about a lot. People loved the reunion between them. So I will say that this was, as the viewing day, 250,000. And now these other ones are still six digits, 154,000. Oh no. Pinky Koi, 93,000. Her premiere, 621,000. Okay, her Latasha Scott, 305,000. Now that's just been in a month, okay? So now we're gonna go to ratings, RHOA.
And don't
Let's
forget
see.
the one with don't forget the one with Tamar had 420.
Oh, 420,000. I didn't say that one out loud. Thank you.
Yeah. It went up. It's been going up.
Yeah, the Tamar one, I think that was exquisite, except for that hair. I'm not sure who didn't like her hair like that. And then to have the baby hair start with the ears instead of like slightly in front of the ears where baby hairs go, it was like a lot. I don't know. And then, because I agreed with everything she said, but she just looked crazy saying it. Literally looked crazy saying it. I was like, oh, darn. Darn.
The one I love is the baby. You see the baby versions of it?
Oh,
I
I
could watch
love
it
the
a
little
thousand
babies.
times.
Yes.
Oh my
I
goodness, that
cry. I
it's
cry.
it's so funny. I think it's
Okay,
by
so
someone
these,
on, Instagram, TJ Lovely T or something like that. He does a
mhm,
lot of those, but those are so funny.
they're hilarious. And I don't know if he's the same dude that I see him off of on TikTok. I don't remember the name. But season one, you'll see they had nothing. The only time they ever didn't have 1 million viewers was the first episode. And then people found out what we were dealing with. And ever since the first episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, there was over 500,000 viewers. And then easy average of, I'll give it like a 1.8 million based off of 2.8, 2.2, 1.4, 1.0, 1.3. One is missing, but it's around the time that it should have been around. Maybe we'll give it a 1.3 also, 1.1 and a point 0.6. So we can make that average an easy like 1.8, right? Like easy, right?
Mhm.
So that was season one. Then we get to season two. We don't have any information for a long time. I don't know why. Interesting. But I think we're going to pick it up here later by around season 10. What is this? Are you going to populate? This site uses Google's AdSense. Okay, season 12. The season NEne left. They were averaging, look, 1.9, 1.8, 1.8, 1.9, 1.9, 1.7, 1.7, 1.7, 1.9, 2.0, 2.0, 1.7, 1.7, 1.6, 1.8, 1.9, 1.7, 1.7, 1.9, 1.7, 1.6, 1.8, 1.3. 1.6, 1.7, 1.4. And so the season average then was 1.8, okay, for the last season that NEne was on. This is the season NEne closed her computer. It was the Dimmick. There was televised, there was recorded things. This is also the season that NEne rallied the women together to attempt to go to and wanted to go to management, and ask for better working conditions for them. And Candy, that's where the term Candy Cruise came up, was because Candy, from the group threads response of, yeah, we should talk to them about having to pay for our own glam. They were having to pay for hella stuff. They were having to use their own cars to get to and from events. And meanwhile, the women of Beverly Hills are getting driven everywhere. And they didn't even have the ratings that our good sisters right here had at the time. And so NEne was like, we need better conditions, we need benefits. She was like really going to task for him. And so there's an actual group thread, Michelle Atlian in these YouTube streets, the blog goddess herself, has all of these receipts of the text thread where NEne was the one that led the charge. Portia was in on it. Kenya was in on it. Candy was in on it. Was Marlo a friend of that season or something? Like the big players were all like, okay, yeah, let's do it. In the meantime, Candy went behind everybody because NeNe's idea was let's go together because we'll be more powerful together. NeNe's a real one. She understands the value of teamwork. You can say what you want about NeNe Leakes. You can say she got too big for her britches. She thought she was all that. People always see, and that's the one part about being, I don't feel like NeNe's a narcissist like that. I feel she does believe in the power of NeNe, yet she has empathy for others. So she's not a true narcissist, but people feel like when you feel great about yourself and know how to stand upright in a room full of haters, that you need to be brought down sometimes, or you need to be humbled or something, or whatever they would say about NeNe. Um, or to say that she somehow deserves to this day from 2020 to 2025 to be relegated to YouTube for calling them what they are, which is a haven for racists and cons and thieves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, hey, look, the proof's in the pudding. If you did a whole firing of racists the same year that NeNe left, right? So anyway, I'm all over the place. My bottom line is that why is NeNe on YouTube when the numbers with NeNe were averaging 1.8? On herself, she has like 500,000 on a great deal. You know what I found out, you guys? I just found out that the house next to us, it was on the market last season, and the person that bought it ended up making it an Airbnb, and they have like a 4-night minimum, and they're renting it. Like, we live in like a nice little quaint suburb in California. I love our little area, but and there's a 4-night minimum. So they're making at least like $1,300 per 4 nights, and it stays booked, you guys. And I'm like, wait. I've been living out here for like going on 6 years, and I like it because it's nice and sleepy, and like we could just go to the park, we go to the swimming thing. There's a kids museum. We go there. We go visit. You know, we can get up to Tahoe. We can do all kind of things from here. But as far as like things to do in our city, there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of things to do in our city. So I'm wondering, how does this house, just a regular schmegular house in a nice area, Stay rented in a residential area. We're not next to anything. The train station is 25 minutes away, like the Amtrak train station. The airport is a half hour away. Okay. There's not uh there's no amusement parks within an hour of here. There's no huge water slide parks. The zoo is just okay. I'm like, what are these people renting this house out for? And it stays rented. Man, I'm too nosy for my own damn good. But and it's all different kind of people. It's no DIE. They're not getting rid of the DIE on Airbnb. I mean, because it's everybody has been over there so far. Everybody gets its turn. And I just think I'm fascinated at the opportunity for Airbnbs in super residential areas to stay booked when like there's nothing to do in the area. Nothing. And if it was just about renting a house, like you can literally rent a house in our area for like cheaper than an apartment. They're renting apartments out here for easy 2,800, 2,400. And if you can find a good you can find a good like we have a 4 bedroom house. You can find a good 3, 4 bedroom house for rent out here for like 3,000. And it's a whole house with a yard and you don't have a neighbor on your head over there, which is part of why I love a house. But anyway, that was a little tangent. Back to these ratings. Allie, you still with me, girl? Uh-oh.
I'm
Did it
still there. I'm
freeze?
still there. I'm still
Oh,
there.
okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so we just looked at NeNe's leaks ratings, right? And how
Yeah.
she's doing pretty freaking good. Our girl is not skimping on what is equivalent to a rating, right? Is a view. So
Yeah, because
she's got
I
views.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. Out in.
Well, I mean, I looked at it really well because I was just making sure and seeing the ratings, and I'm not surprised. I'm absolutely not surprised because NeNe is entertaining.
Yes.
People could agree or disagree. She is entertaining. While she is fun to watch. I know some people have some critiques of NeNe, but the critiques is what make NeNe is. She is going to throw shade. She might read someone, but but it's all light and fun, like what we
Right.
love about RHOA in the first place, you know? And I don't that's why I can never understand what people's like, oh, she always keeps talking about Candy. I'm like, no, she doesn't. Like when she
Right.
does ask about Candy, it's relevant. Like when Latoya was there, of course, she's part of Escape. When Cynthia was there, of course, because they used to work
Right.
together. When Tamar's there, of course. It was all in content. So I don't and then it
Right.
was like the interview with Tamar was like an hour and 20 minutes. They talk about Candy for 2 minutes and everybody was pressed. I was
Yes.
like, dude, there was so many other things they talk about in that interview than that one little thing. But I went in there and I was being a little messy. I went on Candy Speak on it and looked at her YouTube channel and you know, of all the videos that Candy has, she doesn't have those same type of numbers compared to NeNe, and NeNe has far less content.
And
You
subs.
know,
Yeah.
so this NeNe Leak show is raking in way more viewers than what Candy Speak on It has done. You have to literally go like a year into Candy's show to find something that's in the 3 digit. I mean, you have to go way back, like almost a year when, and I think it was like when she was kind of reviewing Housewives of Atlanta, you know, and someone like
Yeah. Like
Cynthia
part of the cast in reviewing it.
yeah, it was something was
Hmm.
going on. I think next one was when Tamika was on, but I think they were doing the Divas of R&B, so it was all this hype around it. But you know,
Hmm.
with NeNe, it was nothing really going on, and yet she's bringing a lot of viewers. Imagine if NeNe had decided to review Housewives of Atlanta, how much she would have been in the millions.
Right.
She would have had 1,000,000 views for every single one of the episodes, and she knows it. But she chose like, why should I give Bravo, even though she's a good place with NBC, why should I give them free publicity and they still can't say I'm sorry? Why should
Uh-huh.
she help Andy Cohen, who called her a monkey with a wig on, and he
Yep.
still can't say I'm sorry?
None of them can. They just dig their heels in so hard about they're wrong, yet are still holding her feet to the fire to this day. Get the where's the witch hunt? Let's get her. She's still talking. You know what I mean? And I feel like whatever settlement finally happened, it was only to tie her mouth. It wasn't to get her working again. It was just to shut her up because they knew they had Stassi, Kristen, Jax, and Brittany all on standby for the next spinoff. And that was going to validate her arbitration and validate her case of harboring a racist work environment by having those types of people there. And so they settled with her, got it out of the way. Now she doesn't say nothing bad about Miss Jenkins. Did you notice? She
Yeah.
won't say nothing bad about NBC. She won't know. Nope. Not going there again. Wrong road. Wrong road. Nope. Nothing to see here, folks. You know?
And she got a
So
few things on E to remember that. She's been doing some things on E, which is still part of NBC for the time being.
yeah, let's see. So does she ever go live or is her videos
Her shows, which one? Candy or NEne?
Candy? So yeah, this one is a month ago, 20,000 views.
Mm.
A month ago, 118,000. And these are videos that are about an hour. Let's see, are there more? A month ago, 44 minutes, 24,000 views. 3 months ago, 8 minutes with Shamia Morton clip, 1,000 views. 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah, she doesn't have a lot of content over here.
I went
Let's
on
see.
it. It's quite a few. It's like I guess it's how you do. You have to keep scrolling because he does these little skits things too, which is kind of throwing it off.
Oh,
So
you
when
know
he
what?
go onto
Remember
like the
that one
skits
she
on
did
it,
last Christmas where she
mm-hmm,
said, I'm back. And then she was in all
mm-hmm.
these different Christmas outfits. And then Fraudra, Faye, did Instagram of it today because today she's back on uh Real Housewives of the Titanic now that she's back. And and so she did an I'm back looking like Morticia. I'm like, was the theme Halloween? I'm not sure, girl. Anyway, these are the ratings currently for season 16. 500,000. So her video with Cynthia got more views than the most recent episode. Hello?
Let's see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cynthia had 531, and it could still grow. Hmm. I can't wait for her to be on Humble Brags. I'm waiting for that.
Oh, speaking of house numbers aren't that great either. They only get like about 10,000, 20,000. They don't get
Oh yeah,
a lot over there. So
but
that was
be
good. Yeah, if they have none, that'll blow them
yeah,
out of the water.
yeah.
NEne is
Be
it. I don't know why people refuse. And look, and then seeing Phaedra all at the NBC offices taking selfies with Andy. And I'm just like, why are they always positioning themselves with the freaking losers? She's a bona fide liar. She just left one of the shows. She's been attacking all of your creations. And you guys just keep like giving her gravy with to sop it up with. And I don't understand how she constantly is rewarded and people are like, oh, she's not going anywhere. But let's see. Well, I'll see. I don't know. She's
I'm
not great, but
yeah, but that was so weird because they had something going on. Celebrities came on, I guess for some type of NBC reunion thing. I wasn't sure, but the people they pick was like, okay, for Beverly Hills, you pick Dorit and Erica to represent. Like they were picking these red. They picked Shamia, okay, but then Phaedra. Like they were picking some really weird people to represent the Bravo celebrities for the housewives. Like, why you pick the most problematic people? You had so
yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that they didn't pick Cynthia, you know what I'm saying, to represent RHOA. You know,
Hmm.
Cynthia is likable and she's over. They pick Phaedra and yeah, I mean, I guess so, but I wouldn't say she's
I
like
love.
a. I like her, but this is her first time being a Peach. I feel like a representation
So
of the
okay,
franchise. You pick the big names of the franchise that you can. Does that or am I thinking different?
well, but who's a big? Okay, so on the current cast, is there a person you speak of who's a big
Well,
name?
on this cast of season 16,
Yes,
I mean, we have, of course, you have those. We may not like it, but Portia,
but is
and I would
Portia
say Portia
really
and
a big
Cynthia.
name, or is she just salacious? Like is it the scandal of Portia, or is Portia really like? Was she really an excellent housewife, or is it just the scandal of Portia? Because I don't know that she missed when she was gone jet setting with Simon for those 14
But
months.
I'm not trying to dim Portia, Shamia's light, but this is her first year, so
Right.
Portia would trump it technically Shamia, but I definitely would have picked Cynthia. Like I'm surprised Cynthia wasn't part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Is Cynthia a friend of? I'd be confused.
I don't know. She's supposed to be a friend of, but they worked her like she was a main cast girl.
They're working her. They work.
Cause
I
she
hope she
kind of
get paid extra.
because she was hinted to that when she was on the podcast. She said because it was like you're a friend of. It's like girl, y'all supposed to be a friend of, but they worked me.
That they did. I think she should get reason of voice of reason bonus. The voice of reason
Yeah,
bonus.
yeah. Because I mean, because I think I did like her as a friend of I've been saying it for years. And it gives her the ability to do other projects and not have to be anchored in Atlanta just to film.
Yeah.
But at the same time, but that's what I like. But I don't know. Everybody else to
When you
go.
think about these numbers, real quick, I have to interject because it just
Oh
came
yeah,
to
go
my
ahead.
mind. And you know the train girl, it leaves. But NEne by herself is getting
Hmm.
500,000 views, a one woman show. But she has a great, behind the scenes thing, which is why she even did the show. Um, and this is an ensemble cast. And you just mentioned the greatness that is expected of this cast. We have anybody from Cynthia, Portia, Shamia, all of these fabulous, wonderful goddesses, these melanated queens with jet setting opportunities, lives, acting, calendars full, kids growing, learning. You know what I'm saying? And they only getting 500,000 views altogether.
Because they're
That's
not
not even
really
100,000 views per ensemble cast member.
no. Because I would think about this a lot. I would think about this a lot because my issue is that they're not truly really ready to make the true like have the real conversation. They are dragging everything so late, so long, avoiding to talk, avoiding to get real, avoiding to make the reads. I mean, they're not giving it their all. They're getting these big old paychecks, and then they're not bringing anything. I'm just gonna be real. Like even with the whole Brit situation, I felt like they could have done a little bit more. They drove this whole thing out, and it was like womp womp womp, no conversation, no nothing. The whole thing with
Yeah,
Shami and Portia, it was dragged. I mean, if it wasn't for Angela kind of lighting the fire, they would have just pretend nothing's
okay.
wrong. They
Ooh,
would
let's
have pretended
argue.
nothing is
Let's
wrong.
argue. I'm gonna
Uh,
take this down. I'm gonna
yeah,
take these ratings down because Angela is not the bee's knees. The bee's
I
knees
don't
is the
think she's
sweetest
the
part.
bee's knees. I don't think she's the bee's knees, but at least she seems to show up and clock in. Tell me who's clocked into work? Not Portia. We
No,
know not
definitely not
Phaedra.
Portia. I don't think that the form of clocking in Angela's doing is okay. She's giving me a NECA. She's about to give me a NECA where it's just too much, too hot, too fast, girl. We don't even know you like that, bitch. Calm down. Like, can we find out why Charles doesn't want to say he loves you and barely likes to kiss you before you try to blow up all these other people's spots? It's just not giving authentic. It's not how you enter a friend group. Um, and she's been very covetous, I feel like, of Shamia since she got there. And then when Shamia didn't take up for her, it was her. um, green or red flag, if you will, to like, really go after Shamia further. And I don't really know. She's being Jackie Christie, and this isn't Basketball Wives,
And
but she
yeah,
literally sits down and acts like just like Jackie Christie. It's not the time. You didn't read the room. We're in the middle of having a kumbaya, and here you go starting some shit, and that doesn't have to be what this show is about.
I get that, but I'm not saying I agree with it. But here's the thing, and I'm gonna put this on Portia. Portia is the vet. She already know what the situation is. She should have handled the whole thing with her and her friendship with Shamil before you let one of these ladies doing it. Okay? Because
Well,
again,
that's what
we
Shamia's cry is, though.
yes.
I thought I heard Shamia say before we started filming, we said we was gonna talk to each other about shit
Mhm.
and wasn't gonna let these girls get to us. I could have
Mhm.
swore. Did anybody else hear that? I could have swore Shamia
That's
alluded to
yeah,
that at
to do it
least.
on camera, and that's
Yeah,
why. Yeah, and that's why and then so to me, it shouldn't have to be Angela, that should have been because we all knew the way how things ended how many seasons ago with the whole thing, we all knew as viewers, there's something going on with their friendship, they should have commented at least episode 4 or 5 and really kinda dig into it, even episode 2 after that whole she showed up late to Shamia's birthday, that should have been a conversation. But then
yeah, that should have
just
been
avoid it.
addressed.
Yes, and didn't get addressed. So, yes, I agree where, Angela was doing too much, but it was like, who was gonna do anything? Nothing we was gonna go through the whole scene and pretend you guys have this really unhealthy friendship. We're just gonna pretend it's happening? No,
But
we
you
need to
know
talk
what?
about
I
it.
don't think that should have even been on the table when we don't know why Portia took that man's husband. Like, she didn't even have to answer that question before you need to explain to me your relationship with Shamia. I don't care about that as much as the first question on my mind was Kelly's question and Angie's follow up question that
Mhm,
never gets answered. But now here
mhm,
you are distracting me with freaking the P. Diddy trial. And all I want to know about is why you steal that lady's husband. Like, you know
and
what I'm
remem
saying? So
yes,
it's
and
just a
still lying
lot
about it.
of, it's unnecessary. Why are you trying to lead us over there when she herself has admitted people want to know about Portia? So why are you leading us to the waters of Shamia?
Mhm, because
So
she's
that's
and
another thing I'm saying. It's just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it?
but I'm gonna try to give Angela some grace. Maybe production was like, we need something out of Portia. Because let's be real, right? We had
Palaver agrees with you.
she had a whole spinoff show, Portia of Lies. We could have tackled this in Portia of Life to some degree and it didn't get tackled. It was ignored. So I feel like they're like, look, we got to do something. I feel like production like we got to do something. We're paying Portia all this money. We're looking to get our investment back. Somebody please do something because this is shrinking. They're on a three-way call with Phaedra because they're desperate. I mean, come on. They're putting a lot of money
That
into
is
this.
pure desperation, calling the
It is,
liar of the bunch.
yes. And like I said, I don't have to agree with it, but like I said, when I look at the past seasons, they used to be able to have these type of conversations before someone else decides to bring it in. They used to go in, talk to each other, visit each other for lunch or something, and have the conversation on camera, and they move on to the next thing.
Yes.
Now I don't know when they stopped doing that. They've been stopped doing that for the past how many seasons,
Yes.
plural, and they need to go back to what work. They need to go back work. You need to have these conversations on there. So yes, I don't 100% feel bad that Angela's like, look, they paying me to bring in a drama, and I get it. She's doing like a Giselle. You don't want to talk about Giselle, so what Giselle do? She deflects on everybody else.
Hmm.
Okay. So in order for you to not have someone like Angela do that, you need to bring your mess out so you could take over the narrative and then have no choice but to force Angela to talk about what's going on with her. But as long as you
I
want
didn't
to
even know
walk,
you
I
were
mean,
back
come
there,
on, that
Palaver. I'm
scene where
sorry.
hey, sorry, Paul. The fact that scene with Portia and Shamia and Portia's went crying in the bathroom. I'm like, come on, Portia. Come on, Portia. You couldn't even sit in front of your friend that you knew since childhood and have the conversation why you guys have this fractured friendship. You couldn't just have it was such a dry scene. It was like we wasted our time. I'll be mad if I was
Yeah.
production. I said I could have just done something else because we got nothing. And Shamia was trying to get something out of
Yeah.
Portia, and Portia's like, "Ugh, I'm
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
And then
Ugh,"
that,
with her fake crocodile tears.
Caliver, I want to hear what you have to add. Just real quick, though, I want to acknowledge that Portia is a self-made victimaire, like how people are self-made millionaires. She's a self-made victimaire. She pulled a Cordell. She Cordelled Simon. Remember how everybody was like, "Oh, poor Portia." She found out she was getting divorced from Cordell on Twitter. Remember, she was like, "I found out on the Twitter," and then damn, she was on the jet ski with Simon on Tuesday, and on Thursday he saw people they was getting divorced. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like, and now she's crying rivers. And I want to know how you guys feel about that, and what were your thoughts you wanted to share, Oliver? If you're here, I
Well,
don't know. I
mm,
can't see your screen.
okay, yeah, I am here. I wanted first of all, I have to give you a mega compliment. Your thumbnail graphics are mwah, beautiful, funny, on point, and with every subject that you talk about. So that makes me happy. Um, the second thing is Portia, to be honest with you, I was the first victim. I was defended that girl, but now I see her.
Yeah,
She is conniving, she's sneaky, but there's something so endearing. I don't know what it is. She's like that like stupid baby girl thing that you just want to go, oh
uh-huh.
here, okay, there, dear.
Yeah, stupid baby girl thing.
Because oh my god. But I don't like what she's been doing the past couple of years since her little show with like, the Porsche family thing. um the special that she got, I was like, oh my god, what the heck, what's wrong with you, you coming after somebody's mom,
Right? But now this
like
season, she's ready
physically.
to like end Shamia for bringing her mom up in a conversation, but she tried to fight Pilar's grandma.
Yes, exactly. That is, I was like, what is happening? So I'm a little bit off of the Porsche train. I do whatever she did to Kenya, I'm okay with. Sorry, I apologize to anybody who likes Kenya. uh, because she deserves. I don't care on that part. My thing is, oh, I did actually. I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
Larja. I don't know if I can, but your take on every. I don't know. I seriously I had to unsubscribe from content creators that I love so
Yeah.
much because they were just like being so critical of Nini's
Hmm.
show and giving their opinion when they would never allow it,
Yeah.
on their own channel. I'm like, can you leave her alone? She just started. She's doing great
I
considering.
think so too.
And and to me, it was almost like it smelled like bitter jealousy. Like, oh, we had to work so hard. You don't know what it's
Mm.
like to build, and then she comes and passes them in 2.9
Oh
seconds.
my gosh, so they were hating like that? I didn't know that was the thing.
Oh, absolutely.
She's had her
It
channel for
was
years.
kind
They're not educated. She's had her channel for years. And remember that, isn't there a legend that Candy had her speak on a channel? And then NeNe started a YouTube channel. And there's a legend that Bravo told NeNe to stop using her channel to talk about it, but allowed Candy to keep on talking about it.
that is a
Hmm.
rumor. That is definitely, and it's not a rumor. If many people, you know how the YouTube content creators are, they don't like say stuff unless they have some receipts on it.
Yeah,
So it might. I'm not into I'm just like a supporter of like black content creators. But I know a few people that I follow that I know are legit and that have alluded to that. You know,
yeah,
but you know what? It didn't matter. I think I think the last time when she's before she started this one, the previous version,
Uh-huh.
I watch in real time because you say NEne, I'm like I'm right
Right
there.
there, NEne Central. We're like
Yeah,
waiting. We're waiting for
yeah. And so
anything
I
NEne.
watch,
Like how some people are on
yeah,
Royals
and she did.
Watch, we're on NEne Watch.
Yeah, yes, exact. I don't know, maybe it's the algorithm, but like I and also because I had subscribed to her before, she was iced out. So when it came, I got to know and I checked and I watched in real time be, within 4 days. She went from like 100 and some to like hundreds of
Yes.
thousands. I was like, you need to keep this up, girl, because she is so loved.
Yes.
She's like the queen of
She really
reality.
is.
It's like there is no comparison.
None. And even the people that seem to be doing better than her really aren't because I don't know who they are. Like
I think Ali and I know.
Huh?
I think I know people who think that she's not doing, but I think it's almost like, oh, how dare you just show up? They think she doesn't have a work ethic. I mean, do you know? Do you recall who this woman is? She literally put a network on the
on the
map.
map.
Mhm.
Who watched
Mhm.
Bravo
Yes.
before?
Nope.
Nobody. It was like a joke channel until Atlanta came and she was the central figure. I'm not going to repeat everything we all know, but you know what I mean? It's like, don't insult her. It's annoying.
It really is. And they need to give her due. And like I mentioned earlier, whatever settlement she finally got, I don't think it did her justice because I don't want her relegated here. Even though we're acknowledging her greatness and her position here is awesome, I don't need her to only be here. She's so great. Let her be getting those real network dollars and those awesome deals and, really,
Right.
stretching her acting chops and things like that and doing what makes her heart sing. I don't think that she should continue to get punished for saying what's true. And
I have a different perspective on this because I think she is so powerful and in herself, in her spirit.
yeah,
She cannot work with people who will control what she does. So I think something sometimes, like maybe this the NEne Leak show that she has on
yeah,
YouTube, because YouTube is not what it used to be. This is now literally people are creating their own networks,
that's
you
true.
know, and she can get everything she wants that she can control because she has a very strict sense of morals, and maybe she works with these people outside, the people I'm talking
Yeah,
about, you know the big hoodoos, I call them. They might say, oh, well, we want you to like do this and advertise on this and and she's going to be like, no, that doesn't align with my spirit. And that's how she is. That's how she's always conducted herself. Doesn't work, damn be the demon. She will not do it. And then oh, NEne is difficult. No, she has a very her character is something. I think that's her brand,
yeah,
really. And now YouTube is not like a little itty mini, like YouTube content creators are overtaking like regular mainstream channels. This is what she can do. That's just my perspective, and I think that's why she kind of navigated the whole. Oh, we're punishing NEne. They're not punishing her. She wasn't hurt. I mean, she wanted to do things, but I think she's finding her footing, and I'm very happy for her. I'm so happy for her.
yeah. I'm glad
You know.
this is succeeding. She's being consistent. And
Yes,
there were some doubts about that and how her show even came to
I
be
know.
was because that talk show that she started doing with somebody named Sierra, who when they said Sierra I thought immediately of the football player's wife, and they were like, no, not her.
Oh.
And I was like,
What? What's the full player?
and so, but she ended up showing up to work all the time. And because they had the set and everybody was there, she was like, well, I wanted to start a show too, and started her own little show because of that. We're using the people that were showing up to a set where the other lady she was co-hosting with didn't show up. I was like,
Yeah, and you know that irritates her. That was her pet peeve that she also complained about on
yeah,
Atlanta. It's people who didn't show up to work on time. She's like, I am on the clock. She showed up, did her job, and skedaddled out. Immediately, I was like, done. She did her job. She clocked in and clocked out. And I can understand that. That's how I am. If I have something to do, I'm gonna show up on time. Anybody delays me, you're on my shit list. I'm not talking to you. I'm not being nice to you. Just gonna say hi and piss
yeah,
off. No, it is. She does have a work ethic, but people in these things, even Cynthia acknowledged that she was the most like consistent on time, which was so infuriating when people were like, oh, she only put 2 episodes, and I'm like, can you calm down? She also this is like, can you imagine? This is not even her forte,
right.
right? Talking. And now she's doing a great job, and she has a roster of amazing. I've loved every guest. Tamar drives me nuts, and I like Tamar for once. It's like, wait, what? You're gonna make me like Tamar?
I know, right? Because she was making sense.
Yeah, they had a good vibe. You could tell they knew each other. She vibes with, like, if it is authentic, you're gonna get the best NEne. I don't know. I feel like I'm her mom. I'm like, leave my daughter alone.
Uh-uh.
This was so nice. I'm like just like chilling. Like, oh, no work. Wait, what am I? And then I saw your live. I'm like, yippee!
Yay! I'm glad. Debating on should I went earlier or later, but I pretty much do God's time, which is Kairos, and that's whatever time it happens
Yeah,
is the right time because you know what I mean? So I
exactly.
appreciate that it was the right time for you to be able to share because it's such a treat when
Oh,
you
it was so
do.
nice.
I'm so pleased when
Yeah.
you get to pop up.
Oh, can I say something,
Yeah.
Larja? Your son, you remember? I don't know if it was 2 videos ago. He walked back. Yeah, he was looking for something probably in your studio. Gorgeous, gorgeous kid. Just beautiful. Just I love seeing like kids and stuff. My kids are grown too. It's like, oh my god, look at Larja's son. He just walked over me like say hi, and then he was like say hi, and then left quickly. I just wanted to say he's really beautiful.
Right on. Thank you, Palaver. I appreciate that. He is my special guy. I really thought I couldn't have kids, you guys. I'll tell you a real quick story. So, I was a geriatric pregnancy. Me and my husband had been together since 1996, started dating in 1996, you guys. And we got married in 2007, 777 and 7. And then that whole time we dated from 1996, got married in 2007. We used protection for like the first month after till the test came back, right? And then it was okay, you know what? The whole rest of the time, no protection. Only pullouts on occasion. Never got pregnant in 10 years. To the point where I'm thinking must be me. Because my sister had a kid by then. She's younger than I am and already had a kid. And then he already had a child with somebody else. So I knew it wasn't her. So I'm thinking, oh, I must have something. I went to go get my fibroids checked. I didn't have any fibroids. I didn't have any blockages. I was just like, I didn't have that. My womb wasn't open unto him, right? So then we finally get married. Like I said, 777 and 7. We go to the Star Motel in San Francisco down by the wharf. We were in room 106, which equals 7. So it was right on brand because our whole thing was 7 and 7, right? So
Okay.
we get in the hotel room. We had the best time. Even though we had already been together, it was just like nothing like this. Now you mine, I'm yours for sure. So we did it like that night, right? Okay, but in the meantime, now I'm a backtrack. So we got married July 7th. And in June, we found out about a Black fertility specialist that specialized in fertility treatments for Black couples. And oh, somebody else is in the back. Chanel's Reality. Thanks for
Hey,
coming
Pooh.
up.
You're
Hey.
welcome.
So I'm glad you
Hey.
got to
Hello,
come
all.
up here real quick. Let me finish the story real quick. So,
Oh, okay.
so we have found out about this Black fertility specialist in June of 2007, and we were getting married in July of 2007. So we meet with him, or we had our initial meeting, and he was like, "Yeah, I think you guys would be great. We can get your blood started on the 14th of August. We were going to have our appointment." And so we get married 777, go to the hotel. I get my back blown out. It was great. And then
Right
all of a
on.
sudden, I couldn't drink a mojito. And I kept getting tired. So just in a month, I started getting tired. So July, August was the appointment. Between July and August, I can't finish a drink. My deodorant stopped working completely. I couldn't put enough deodorant on to not smell like a bag of onions. I was like, what's going on? My sleep was crazy. The smell of water made me throw up. I'm like, what's going on? So I finally was like, am I pregnant? My husband was like, no, you're not pregnant because it's been 10 years, right? You're not pregnant.
Mhm.
I go to the dollar store. I get a pregnancy test.
Wait.
I go to the dollar store and get a pregnancy test from the dollar store. The cashier said, "Oh, good luck. I found out I was pregnant with my daughter with these." So they work. Like they are accurate,
They
even though they're
do.
in here. There's nothing wrong with them. So I bought a couple because my husband suggested. So so I get up the next day after my mojito didn't work, pee on this stick, and I see two lines. I wait a minute. I pee on another stick
Oh,
and I see two lines. I go wake my husband up. I said, "Baby, how many lines you see?" He said two. He said, "What's that mean? I'm pregnant." He said, "Go take another test."
You ready to two?
So I took it. I had bought like five, so I took another one, and they all had two sticks, and I mean two lines. So then on the 14th, we were supposed to have our appointment. It was around the 9th or so when I found out from that test that I was pregnant. But on the 14th, the day we were supposed to go to the Black fertility specialist to try to find out how to get pregnant, I'm already pregnant and start bleeding. Get to
damn.
the doctor. They tell me I can miscarry at home or here. It's up to you, ma'am.
Yeah.
That soon because there was nothing they could do. They're like, you this is hardly a situation. And I'm in California, so they weren't trying to keep me hooked up. So they were like, yeah, there's really nothing we can do. You could just go home and like take it easy, right? So then I ended up spotting for the first 5 months of my pregnancy, you guys, a geriatric
Mm.
39-year-old, no, 34. 34, because I was 34, because then I had the next one. Wait, no, 39. It was 39. Yeah, because I got married at 39, duh. Because I had my second child at 44, duh. Yeah, so it's 39-year-old geriatric pregnancy, spotted the first 5 months of carrying the guy, and that's who you saw in the back the other day.
Gorgeous boy.
Mm.
Just gorgeous baby.
Thank you. So it was quite the ordeal, and he is my angel.
Larja, my first son, I was pregnant at 26 and a half. I spotted for the first 4 months.
Yeah.
So damn that geriatric crap.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
It's an individual thing. And both my boys, everybody else who was like oh, we're healthy. We're not gonna. I'm like, I'm eating
Yeah,
everything. I'm pregnant. I'm doing. They're like, no, you don't understand. We're laughing. My kids are
yes,
healthy and they're
yeah,
beautiful. And I spotted the first
yeah,
one. The second one, I didn't know I was pregnant until 11 weeks after we had gone on a cruise and I drank my head
yeah,
off and danced. My mother in law said, you're going to have a scrambled egg. And I was like, what? And I was on like on what do you call that, the things that keep you from getting pregnant,
yeah,
you said it, I don't
contraceptive,
know what, I
yeah,
forget. Yeah, I was on one because we're like, oh, we're gonna spare them, like spread them 3 years. No, that damn kid, boom, on contraceptive. I went for a smoking cessation because we're trying to like get
yeah,
healthy. So they have to do a pregnancy test. They're like, you're 11 weeks. We're like, oh,
that is
drinking like sailors. It
wow.
was crazy.
Yeah, but
I don't care about it. When it's time, it's
it's
time.
time.
That's all I
It's
know.
time.
Yeah.
And that's why, another reason I'm so on Kairos because I had no idea. And then okay, I want to tell you guys another little tiny thing about myself, okay? Um, my real name is
Yeah.
Leah, and anybody who's biblical knows that Leah is Genesis 29 through 31. And in the story of Leah, she has a sister named Rachel, and Rachel was beautiful, and Leah was not. But in those days, you had to get married in order. And so there was this dude, was it Jacob? Yeah, Jacob wanted to marry
Yes, it was
Rachel.
Jacob.
And my dad, I think his name was Laban, was like, okay, you can marry Rachel if you work for me for 7 years for free. Given, and that was all really a ploy to give Leah, the undesired daughter, time to get married, hopefully. And then that way the deal could go through with no problem. But Leah still didn't get a suitor in all of that time. So 7 years comes up, and the dad, Laban, dresses Leah up as the bride with the veil over her face where you don't lift it till you get to the marital tent, and had Leah say the I do's to Jacob, who was really in love with Rachel, the more desirable sister. And then they get to the marital tent. And he sees Leah. He's like, Jacob. Jacob's like, Laban, where's Rachel? And he's like, look, dude, I'm sorry, but you can have her too. We just had to make sure Leah got married. And so then in the marriage, though, because they really wanted to be together, Leah was a forgotten wife. And he was
Mm-hmm.
sleeping with Rachel, and that was the chosen wife, right? So it was some sister wives of the Mormon lives or something going on. And so he was only bedding Rachel and her handmaids. And because you could give them also
Oh,
their handmaids, and I guess that's where you get handmaids tale, because you could give them your handmaids who could also have children for the house. And so Rachel and her handmaids got all the dick, right? And Leah and her handmaids were just like cleaning up, I guess. So Leah prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. And the couple of times Jacob would come give Leah some, her womb wouldn't open to him. So she prayed to have her womb open. By the time Leah's womb was open in the Bible, she was definitely a geriatric pregnancy at what's estimated to be an 80 years old, you guys, having children and then pushing out children after children after. She ended up having like 5 sons, and her handmaid had some kids for him too. Altogether, I think they gave him like 13 kids or some stuff. But yeah, so my namesake was a woman who was a geriatric pregnancy, also, was the moral of the story.
okay.
The way you tie up the story in such a bow, like you are a writer. I'm a writer, and I get like it's so compelling. I'm like, and then what happened? Oh, no, wait. I love it.
Oh my goodness.
You're a storyteller, and you tied it up in a bow at the
I know,
end.
right? Yeah, we could do it again. We could do another version. I'd be having fun with that story.
Yeah. Hey, Leah, aka
Yes.
Laja, I am going to drop off because I think somebody else wants to come up. Also, I can listen to you. But thank you for having
No worries. I
me.
appreciate you,
Nice seeing
Caliber,
you
as
guys.
ever. Everybody, that was Caliber
Bye.
coming up, giving her POV, and it's such a treat. She doesn't come up on a lot of people's things, you guys. I feel very, very blessed and honored to have had you over today.
You're too kind. I
Love
love
you too.
you.
Hi.
I don't know what happened to Chanel. She was up and then she's down. She was
Yes.
up and then she's down. I just had to
Yes,
get
she was
my
up and then she went down.
geriatric pregnancy story out of the way. Yeah. So
Well,
that's a
we
funny
got,
story.
but we got on whatchamacallit, Housewives of Atlanta season 16. That's where we
Yeah, we
stopped
were
at.
on that. So
How
now, and then
Portia's
we did
getting
the
paid all
NEne
this
of it
money
all.
and doing no work.
We did the NEne of it all. We
Yes.
did Apollo. Okay, so now the part about the moms. I was going to talk about the
Hmm.
moms, the feud over here on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now what I found out is it could be akin to the NEne LVP story. So let's refresh your memory on that. NEne said that once upon a time when she was going to LA a lot, she was thinking of opening a restaurant the same way she opened up the her little restaurant down in her little nightclub, and she let Brent be in charge.
Yeah.
So she was going to do that in
Yeah.
LA. And she was filming, I think, that show, The New Normal, and maybe doing some pilot calls or whatever. And she was still good with the network. And so she decided to call a fellow Bravo celebrity named Lisa Vanderpump and said, Lisa, I'm thinking of getting into the restaurant business in LA. And I wanted to know, could you go look at this property with me and give me your honest thoughts about, is it, because I don't really know this area. Is it a good location? Is it viable? Will you go with me? Oh, absolutely, darling. Well, I'll go with you. I know every nook and cranny of these here Hollywood streets, and I'd be glad to share my expertise with you, darling, is what Lisa allegedly said. And so, so they get down to the place that's vacant. It has a big for sale for lease sign on it. And she shows Lisa Vanderpump, and Lisa's like, oh, I'm so glad you called me. I'm about to save you from a horrific mistake, darling. This is a shamble. This place, this area, oh my God, it's going to be nothing but problems. Oh my gosh, and these landlords over, oh my gosh, you'll hate it. Oh, I don't think you should go through with it, but if I see when you should, I'll let you know. Okay, thanks, Lisa. That was really thoughtful of you to help a sister out. I really appreciate it. So then NEne goes home. Months later, Lisa announces she's going to open up a new location for, was it Vanderpump Rules? It was either
I don't
I
remember.
think it was Vanderpump Rules because Tom Tom wasn't. So it was going to be Vanderpump Rules is the same location that NEne asked Lisa Vanderpump should she use, and she told NEne no and went behind NEne's back and got the deal and opened a fucking restaurant, you guys, and got a spinoff. Got a whole spinoff.
Yes.
So I feel like that's some dirty stuff.
Yes.
And so NEne said, ever since then, and this was before she was off the good graces of the network, she said that Lisa Vanderpump, for that reason, was her least favorite fellow Bravo celebrity because she just felt like that was some dirty work. So now we have this story about Mama Diane, which is Portia Williams' mother, and Mama Sarah, which is Shamia Morton's mother. And on last week's episode, they did a flashback and showed a picture of Shamia's mom, Sarah, and Miss Diane back in their heyday, both looking snatched like the kids had babysitters or were having some Tylenol with codeine and was asleep for the night. And they was out on the prowl and they was looking fine and snatched. And so they obviously were friends back in the day. And so in one of the episodes, I think it was like episode 2 or 3 of Real Housewives of Atlanta this season 16, the Titanic, Mama Diane was in a scene with Portia where she says, "Oh, something, something, Shamia," and Mama Diane on a television that on a globally syndicated show decides to say about her daughter's friend, "Oh, something about apples and trees, and you know what her mom did, and I told you to look out for dogs and some shit." Like, what? Did that lady just call Shamia a dog? Is all I heard when I listened to it. I was like, did she? I had to rewind because I watched it on Peacock the next day for the extended version. And sure enough, that's what she said. She called Shamia a dog, pretty much, and alluded to her mother being a dog because, yeah. So I was like, that's not nice. Hate her much? Well, I guess your daughter's a hater, so maybe she got it from you, Miss Diane. It was giving hater. So now we have Shamia's mom, who all we've ever seen her do, all we've ever seen Miss Sarah do for the thought that's Portia or her mother Diane is pray for them. That's all we ever seen her do is
Mm.
pray for them. When she gets her chance to be on anybody's camera, she's saying nice things, praying. So there's a choice to be made, I guess, and you can always choose whatever you want. And it looks like they're choosing opposites. So everybody's been wondering what's going on with the two moms that used to hang out while the kids were asleep and have babysitters, for their daughters to both have this opportunity now, for one mother to stir up whatever grudge match could possibly be between these two mothers, that you're trying to insert it as part of your daughter's non-story storyline. So we're like, okay, what could it
Mm.
possibly be? Well, somebody said that back in the day when they were young, they both had daycares in 1984, circa 1984, circa 1985, 2001. No, circa 1984, 1985 is when they started their daycares. And in 2001,
One.
Miss Diane had a building, owned a building. There's a YouTuber who's pulled out the title and the deed and all that stuff in the YouTube streets. I think her name is Cookie Tie or something like that. And she pulled out the ownership receipts and it showed Miss Diane was the owner. And um, it showed that Miss Sarah also had daycares in the area and that Mama Diane's building went into foreclosure. And then after it went into foreclosure, it was owned by the bank and then it was owned by somebody named Tyrone. However, I'm not sure where the lady got it from, but they're speculating that Mama Diane went to Sarah and was like, "Oh, I'm going to lose the building." And Sarah let her lose the building and then bought it from the bank. But nobody can find Sarah's name on an ownership record. And I don't know who Tyrone is. But that's not all the people found out. They also found out that in 2008, Mama Diane and Portia again had a daycare. Portia was the
Mm-hmm.
CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Mama Diane ran that thing. All the people dealt with Mama Diane. It was the first 24-hour daycare in Atlanta, Georgia, where you can just drop off a baby any time of the day. Because, most of the time, the daycare is only open from before you go to work until 2 hours after you get off work. And the rest of the time, your kid, your problem. Well, nope. They were like, people got to get rid of their kids all the time. Let's have a 24-hour drop off. So at a whim, daycare, and they own the whole building. Well, this little baby gets dropped off. I think the baby was like 3 months old, 4 months old or something, a little baby. And the baby gets dropped off at the 24-hour daycare and the baby dies. And there's this huge case. And there's a lawsuit and investigation and everything. They end up not finding them liable. They did say something about everybody went to lunch. Where were the people when the baby was having its trauma? But they ended up not finding them guilty. But then later on in 2011 or 17ish, there was a lawsuit for $5 million for the same incident against Portia and her mom for, I guess, like a civil suit kind of thing, like how they tried to come back later to OJ and get some money for it. Um, I'm just using that as the example, not as the example of circumstance. But where it was
Mhm.
one case was criminal and then the next case was civil. So that happened in this tragedy also. So, but that doesn't really, I don't think that it's that. And if that is the story Mama Diane is trying to sell, is that, oh, she let the building go into foreclosure. I don't think Mama Sarah owed Diane any help in that situation because, especially if she didn't have it to help her. And then you're not supposed to get a deal when it goes on fire sale at the freaking city steps on auction, and you can get Croy and Kim's $30 million mansion for $2 million at the auction. People usually wait for an auction for a reason, especially if you're business savvy, you know. So I don't think that that could be a legitimate reason, but that is the reason floating around is that allegedly Mama Sarah bought the building that got foreclosed on after Mama Diane couldn't pay for it anymore. Do you think that's a good enough reason, Allie? No, me neither.
No,
I don't think that's the reason, actually.
no. I heard that story and I was like, it was just a business deal. I mean, Mama Diana was she had a business. It didn't she was not she business go up and down, have highs and lows. She had a low and it just turned out that she couldn't hold on to her business and lost the property. Now, Mama Cheryl, she was able to keep things going, even though I think around that time, people were not taking their kids to daycare, but she was able to, keep her business thriving. And I'm just gonna be real. If I was in a position where I could see I could get me a piece of property for the cheap on
Yeah,
auction, yeah, I'm gonna snag it. And no, I will not tell
right,
you. I mean, I don't care what she say. I don't that sorry, mom, that you need to do
right.
better. I mean, and you're upset after all these. Here's my thing. I always feel like this: if you are a good business person and give an outstanding service and or
Uh-huh.
products, people are going to support
Yes.
you. People are going to support you. They're going to find a way to support you. Like again with NEne, people support NEne because they like her. She's great. She's entertaining, and they go anything she does, it works because she understands her base and she gives what her base wants. That's why she gets great results.
Hmm.
So that's where I feel like what happened with Diana. Them people didn't feel you. They didn't trust you with their kids. Mama
Right,
Diana, they didn't.
right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
And then with Georgia, there's no excuse because when I first moved out here, it's like everybody and their mama could open up a daycare. It was getting ridiculous, and it was actually the interesting thing you mentioned when the one was
Hmm.
Portia. The one with Portia's daycare. I think I even remember because it was involved with a really sad case where a baby that was like about 3 months old that went to the daycare for the very first
Right.
time, and they left that baby in the car, and I
Was
was
it
like,
in
"Wait a
a car?
minute,
Because they
I
said,
remember that
was it in
story."
a car? Because they said the baby, that something about the people went to lunch for too long.
Yeah,
So they went to lunch with the baby in the
yes,
car.
yes, because, a lot of these daycares have the daycare van, so they left the baby strapped up in the van, left, had lunch, the whole thing, and then after a while, they're like, "Oh, where's the baby?" They didn't even remember, and
Yeah, that
they
does
didn't
sound
even
like
remember.
neglect then. That's straight neglect. I
It
mean,
is neglect.
we're not in, what's that
Yeah,
country where they
and then
leave
what
the
happened?
babies in the carriages in the snow outside? We're not that country. And heat treats babies way
No,
different
that's
than the cold.
yeah. They totally forgot it, and I think that was a year where, ironically, another incident happened in another daycare. But when they told me, when I read the story because I was researching it, I said, "Wait a minute, that was Portia's daycare." Because I remember that story. It was so heartbreaking because I remember the newscast where you see this woman.
Yeah,
Like
they had just the
when I
baby's
see her,
first
she
visit.
wasn't crying.
It was the first
Yeah,
thing.
she wasn't crying. Yeah. It's like the mother wasn't crying, but you could tell she was like like the light inside of her was
Yeah,
gone. Like the amount of remorse and grief. She didn't even need to cry, but you could tell she was devastated. Cause it's like you decided to sit down there and entrust your 3-month-old baby to a daycare for whatever reason why you had to. You probably had to go to work, etc. Whatever. Happened, and the first day, the baby in the thing, and then I'm like, when I found it was
yeah.
Portia's daycare, I was like, well,
That happened
somehow
in like
that starts to
2008,
make sense because no one could
2009.
understand. Yes, and irony, look how long Portia has been on Housewives, and no one ever mentioned this.
Thank you. But people are
Somehow
sitting
it's
up here
faded.
bringing up Brit Eadie's porn and stuff that she saw. I feel like we needed to know about this a long time ago. This is scandalous and salacious. And something about Portia used to be a stripper is coming out. And yeah,
I No one ever talks about it. No one ever talks about it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I remember that case. I mean, they had to shut down the thing. I think they even did something where they couldn't actually sue for the family couldn't sue because the way how things was handled was so convoluted that they couldn't even determine fault because the way they found the baby, but they never really actually reported and called 911 on time. They waited even more hours to pass before they finally said, okay, let's call 911. So it was like there was, but then I guess, of course, people decide I'm not trusting you with my kid because, and then the fact that you had no repercussions of what you did, and I don't even think the family got to sue. I don't remember. They just end up stop
right.
operating. And here we go again. Portia doing something absolutely ridiculous. I mean, not really her because it was her
Hmm.
employees, but again, she's the skates by, and everybody acts she could do no
Right.
wrong. Yeah, it's really interesting that no one ever talked about this and bring it
And
up
like somebody like
with Portia. And I
Marlo seems like she, and even, ooh, why didn't Ken used to hate Portia? Why didn't she go there?
Mhm.
Like, so it seems like some
Yep.
things are off limits.
Yeah, maybe that's why Portia was so quick to leave that. Remember how she said, "Oh, I gotta
Yeah,
get out of here, take the mic off of me." Probably she was afraid that maybe she brings something back out on
right.
me because I've been skating the past how many years with no one telling me about this 3-month-old baby at my
And we'll be
daycare.
talking about the
But if
quad
you,
thing, and that got all brought up,
mhm,
so why has Portia not
mhm.
had to answer for these
and
things?
and I, and I'm not making up when I researched it because I was trying to find out Mama's Mama's Mama Diane's her business. I was trying to verify that
Yeah.
story, but through trying to find that story, I came on across Portia, and they showed Portia's daycare. So I said, "Let me read about her story," and that's when everything came out. So it's online. If you go in and research her daycare, there are actual articles about her daycare, but yet all this time they never ever mention it. But yet they want to talk about that. This is why our HOA is so lackluster because you have tea on these people and they've chosen not to say something. And I always say this and I'll say it again. Atlanta is like a small town disguised as a city. Everybody knows everybody and everybody know everybody's
Yeah.
business. It's just so interesting who they decide to tell whose business on. You know, like I said, you could talk about Charles Oakley and his infidelity, but I always feel that's a cheap shot. Meantime, you got Portia and this whole scandal that somehow nobody remembers. Like, if I feel like if you're going to talk about someone, talk about the person who's getting paid 6 figures to be on the show. Leave the family out of it. This whole time, Portia's been skating through. Maybe that's why Portia kept acting like she's, ditzy. So that way people don't question her past. As long as I be this ditzy hot girl, no one's ever gonna ask about
Yeah.
me. I'm just gonna sit here and pretend I don't know anything.
Yeah. Because that is like you don't want to attack children.
No. But this is totally yeah. But yeah, that is such a It was such a sad story. I kind of that's what I do remember about it. I forgot, and this came to my head when I researched. That was so I could never fully verify Mama D's and how that went down, but through trying to find it, I did verify with Portia. So that was a set, and I remembered it because I think I just moved to Atlanta, and it felt like every week there's something going on with a baby in a hot car, or like around that time between 2010. It's like every year some baby's in a hot car, and yet, yeah, this 3 months old. How you leave a 3 month old baby that's in a carrier? Like that's like I don't even know why the baby was in the van in the first place. You usually don't want to take the infants out anywhere. Where they gonna go?
Yeah, like they didn't have Uber Eats or DoorDash, so I can't go there. But still, like, couldn't one person have
No,
went and got it and brought it back? She owned the whole building.
it was a whole building, and I think if I it was a daycare, so I think they had multiple. What's the word I'm looking for? Multiple
Provider.
age groups.
Yeah,
So they had a yeah, so it's like an infant group, a 2-year-olds, a 3-year-olds, they do it like that. And I felt and usually them they sometimes they will have like a front desk person, and the director wouldn't be taking care of the kids. So I think like Portia would have been like the director where she's in the back office. So technically you would have enough adults that you could have one person leave and you still have enough kids to watch the kid. Because you could say, hey, receptionist, go and get lunch for everybody. And me as a director, I'll just, greet everybody in. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I still cannot understand why at 3 months old you're taking the baby out, because if you're going to take kids out, you take like the threes, the fours, the older fives, because they're not old enough to go to kindergarten yet. You'll take them out, but that's like to a little field trip, like Zoo Atlanta or aquarium. But at 3 months, them little infants that's not walking, they're in the room all day under bolts and seal because you don't want nobody messing with the little ones. You know,
yeah. That's
so to me, yes, to me that was something was weird about that. Cause, but I don't think they handled it very well. She skated through. It was sad when I researched. It's like the family had no justice.
yeah. It doesn't sound like it. And even whatever they ended up getting finally, it's not going to make up for their person only had 3 months of life. That's horrible. And then you're
Mm,
right. Anybody who watches kids knows don't leave babies in the car.
no,
The baby could have even
what I
got
used to do
kidnapped.
when yes, but see, Atlanta be so hot. Even like all the time Atlanta's hot. So if you have a child in the car, it's easy that car easily inside could be over 100 degrees. And at 3 months old, come on now. And then I remember when I had my little one, someone gave me a really good trick how to not forget, especially if you're first
Yeah.
time mom. Like my purse, I will have my purse in the back seat right next to the baby seat. So I know I'm always want to get my purse. So I won't have to be forced to go to the back seat to get my purse and see the baby. That was a good trick for me when I first, have a kid. So if anybody has that, that's a good trick. Put your purse right there by the baby, so you always know you have to go to the back to get
Yeah,
the
that's a
purse.
great idea.
Mhm.
Also, some stuff came out about Miss Sarah, though. And to be fair,
Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and share with the same person that shared the titles for ownership of the foreclosed property also shared the rap sheet for Sarah Mort. And let me see, the notes are upstairs. I just came downstairs for some water. But she did something about got gas from a pump that she didn't pay for. So you know how people be at the gas station and be like, "Oh, you give me the $20 and you can use this gas pump." Have you ever had that happen to you?
what? I don't know how you do it because the gas pumps are it's like they're self pumping and you have to pay
Right.
first.
So
I won't
you
turn on.
use, so let's say somebody has their dad's gas card but doesn't have cash, but they
Uh
have
huh.
their dad's Shell gas card. This happens a lot. I know some college kids. So their dad pays for their gas card, but the dad won't give them any money to like go shopping. So they would take, we would go to
Mhm.
the Shell with their gas card and ask people, how much gas were you going to get? Oh, $20. Well, can I put that on this gas card and I take your $20? And then you swipe your card, you get them $20 worth of gas on your dad's Shell card, and then they give you a $20. So now you have cash for chili fries. So
Ooh.
So yeah, so when I used to go to the UCLA, me and some kids, we did that a couple of times with some of those kids that got the money from their parents like that. But so basically, it said that she got gas that she didn't pay for and drove away from an open pump. So somebody that also got arrested that night and ended up with a mugshot, a man had opened the pump and let her get gas that
Mhm.
she didn't pay for. And so she has a rap sheet for that.
But how so you mean the person inside the gas station opened the pump for her and make her pump?
No, okay, so or they told the authorities later on, like so the card, you swipe your card, it says pump your gas. So instead
Uh-huh.
of him shut the gas off, somebody kept it pumping or something was the story.
Oh, oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Oh, I remember that
Yeah.
trick. Now I get so like say they probably got like a stolen card, were able to get gas
Well,
and
they
then
didn't
just
say
keep
anything
pumping
about a
and
stolen
pumping.
card being used. She didn't get in trouble for
Oh.
stolen nothing except for stolen gas because she
Uh-huh.
personally didn't pay for the gas she got in her car before she drove away.
But then how the gas open up?
Exactly.
Because someone
That's
had
why the other
because
guy got arrested
yeah,
too. I don't know. See how confusing it
so
is?
he had because the only thing I remember, and I'm trying not to oust anybody. I remember back in the days in Miami, I remember someone would get a card,
Uh-huh.
right? For like almost like what you did. They get a card, right? And they will go to the gas pump and pay at the
Yeah.
pump, right? And what they do is you pump your gas and then you move from the pump, but they don't put the pump back into the
Yeah.
pump thing. They just keep they try to get it close enough so they could keep
Right,
pumping.
right.
So they will be pumping like 4 or 5
Okay.
cars. So the person who actually did it probably had something where they were pumping because you could pump a
Yep.
lot, like if you have a big old
Right.
truck. So I remember someone used to do that where they will just go in and just keep the pump on
It's a whole thing.
and where the gas stations used to hold a dollar, like a temporary. It
Uh-huh.
could be like no money on the card, but enough to just hold a dollar and say, okay, we go. And you used to just rank it down all day long. And then after a
Wow.
while, that could be it too. They probably the guy had like $5 on the card, but they knew it could only hold a dollar and was just killing it with gas. So by the time the actual amount hits, it's like, oh no, there's no money.
Right.
And and the gas is now
And
the
this was a
gas was
long time
gone.
ago. This is like in 2011 or something, you guys. So it's
Yeah.
not recent at all.
But I think that's probably what it I think one or two things, either the guy did something and tricked the pump, and I think it's either he got a stolen car or he did the
It's either
thing
he
where
got a stolen car.
or where he had a car where it said had like maybe $5, $10, and it used to hold way back into like 2010. It used to hold just $1. If you use your credit card or a debit card, it used to hold $1. So you could go and
Yep.
get and then it gets pumped. But now if you go to the pump, they don't do that no more. It holds like a minimum of $75 or more. So they
Right.
know that if you pump, it's going to
You have
pay for
that much
whatever it
money.
is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They sure did get jiggy with it.
Because people used to go to
Yeah, so that
town with that.
happened. So that's the feud. I still don't think that's the real reason for the feud.
Yeah.
I'm That doesn't really sound like it. The amount of I'm rinsing my hands real quick. The amount of venom that Mama Diane had, it kind of gives like there's a man. I don't know.
Mm.
It's feeling like there might be a man involved or something, or she told something that cost her a man, or she
Mhm.
did, because there's also this whole story about Mama Diane being the other woman to Portia's dad or something like that. I don't know. And then that time Portia was on the show crying about how she would never had her dad around, and Lauren was like, "Well, I have my dad." Like, like so. I don't know. I don't know.
But
But the
didn't
only
Portia
reason
and
I would
Laura?
hold a grudge against a woman years later, well, from what I try not to have grudges because I feel like they make cancerous growths in your body. But um, if I did still have a 10-foot pole for somebody, it would have to do with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
my man, or my parents. That's the only
Mm.
reason I'm having a 10-foot pole for people is because of past experiences based off of those three topics. If it had to do with work, I'll let it go. If it had, because there's more money to be made. But if I
Yeah.
feel like somebody damaged or tried to damage my parents, my children, or my relationship with my husband, then those are things that it's 20 years. Oh, that's not long enough. I'm still not fucking with you. Like
And I think to me, I feel I glad you mentioned because I really did feel like it had to do with some men. I mean, they're never going to admit it because a business opportunity, you be hurt and ignored, but at some point you let it go. It's like it is what
right,
it is.
right.
Especially if you've gone off and make more money, it's enough for everybody. It wasn't meant to be. I mean, would I be like, I don't trust you anymore when it comes to business? Of course, like it reminds me of the thing with Michael Jackson and Paul. Who's that guy in the Beatles? The one in the
Yeah,
Beatles, Paul, and how he was telling Michael Jackson, "Oh, they're going to release the catalogs of the Beatles. Oh, they're going to release it. Oh, I can't wait till I get it back." And then Michael Jackson kind of bought off behind his back, and of course, the guy was pissed. But it's like it is what it is. You open your mouth. Don't go,
right. That's
I
one
mean,
thing, guys. Move in silence. Move in
yes.
silence. Yeah.
You telling people all your business. No, you gotta let them know. You gotta be like move into the shadows, and then when they see you have it, you just say, "Oh yeah, God is good."
Yeah. Because sometimes you just gotta pop out and show people. That's what that song was really about. And you gotta pop out and show them. You don't let everybody know how you're moving because they can be praying against you, moving against
Mhm.
you. Like NEne, that was a hard lesson from a coworker to learn. That was messed up. And just like Kenya and Phaedra, the donkey booty. She talked to a friend about an idea, and then that friend took the idea. And on other housewives, there's people. Isn't Stacy getting ready to try to do something that somebody's already doing on Potomac, and they were trying to be mad at her at the end of last season?
I
I
didn't
mean,
see
aside
Potomac.
from have a fake relationship like Giselle, it
I
was
didn't
some
see
kind of business
I
idea.
guess it's so, but I could have watched Potomac because it was just so toxic at that point. I might try to watch it this season when it comes on, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't
Yeah,
do
I
it
don't.
last
I
season.
I did watch it because of Stacy. I didn't want to see. I was very disappointed that Giselle and Ashley got more time to lie in my face and call it entertainment.
But I'm
Um,
not. But that's alliance I knew was brewing. I knew that alliance was going to brew from season 5, so it does not surprise me.
have you been watching Love Hotel at all?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Tell me your
It's
thoughts.
cute. It's cute. I like it. I think to me, it is always refreshing to see housewives out of that persona that we see. So it's nice to see Giselle being this fun girl. I wish she did get with Phil because I'm like, okay, that'll be fun to have that guy with the bell house. I'm like, I'm rooting for you and Phil, but Giselle seemed to be very picky, so I could see why she don't have a man because she's like, they need to make me laugh. Like Giselle, it's hard to make someone laugh. Not everybody has that funny person, sense of humor. And in all fairness, I don't see Pastor Jamal to be a biggest comedian in to me. Every time I see him, he seems dirt serious. But whatever. Ashley, she's being Ashley, hoeing around. Luann, she is funny. And Sharon, poor thing. What do you think about it though?
Yeah, poor thing Shannon. Like, really, Shannon? She like started all that with that man. She's so I were like with you and that your ex and that guy. Like she made a big deal out of that. And she did have a tone with Earl
Yeah.
Like, you don't eat vegetables. Like that was a lie.
She's a self-sabotager because I think the thing
Yeah,
between her and Earl could have worked out, but then it's like, when you have something really good or potentially good, you have to find a way to ruin it, and she
yeah.
ruined it because she needed someone
She
like Earl. Because I think he is a person that would be there to help her, but she's her own worst enemy. I was like, "Where did
she
this
is.
coming from?"
Mm-hmm. Because Earl was he was gonna care about her.
And she wants someone to
And
care about her.
but she doesn't really, or else she wouldn't have messed up
Yeah.
like you said.
Mhm.
Ashley, such a freaking
Mm.
liar. She's currently dating Josh on the Real Housewives of Potomac. And you wouldn't know it because you didn't watch last season while I eat this cheese it. But last season, her and Giselle went on a blind double, they went on speed dating together, which
Mhm.
is part of where they got the idea for this love hotel thing,
Mm.
was to take all these eligible ladies and pretty much make them a speed date, right? So
Yeah.
they had their speed dating thing. They both ended up hooking up with guys that they then brought to an event at Karen's house called Love Lagoon. And the guy that Ashley brought was called Josh, this little white boy. And she was dating him and she brought him the rest of the season to every event. And then she gets in Love Hotel, and that's who she was talking about. Oh, it didn't go so well. I recently was dating somebody, but that didn't really work out, or something she said when she first got introduced on Love Hotel. She leaves that place and she's currently dating Josh. Like nothing happened.
I mean, here's the one thing. I'm just gonna say this. I think she probably is currently working with Josh, but I still think her and Michael have something together. Their relationship is too ugh, icky. Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
she
and
was
then you
rubbing that man's feet.
and with the two kids is there because I know why the first guy she was with, that man loves her, really cares about her, wants to be with her, and I say, no, why you don't want none of that foolishness. You don't want none of that foolishness. She got an old ass man with two kids and want to take vacations with him. The house is in his name, and it's just too messy. No, go get yourself a nice girl. Leave Ashley alone. That woman gonna drive you crazy.
Right?
I said, you want none of this. I said, no, you're not, because I feel like, in my opinion, Ashley needs to be with someone that is so fine with the fact that she is still very involved with her ex-husband's life and her foolishness, and they feel like, oh yeah, I'm still it's very secure. I'm not jealous. I'm not. That's not why. Why is going to be like, I don't like none of this. I don't like you going on vacations. I don't like how my and you know that Ashley's gonna push back. She wants
Right.
Michael to still be there because Michael, I think, that bought the house in an LLC. So he's very involved in where she lives. So she's like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to let this go. He still got an insurance policy on me. So she's not gonna let that go. No way. She's gonna be fine with the vacations with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
She's fine with that. And I don't think she's and then the other guy, I forgot his name, Jason or Jonathan. He's another nice guy too. She wants to like say, "Oh, you was in a threesome. Oh, that's triggering for me." I said, Ashley, when out here being in threesomes and this and that was triggering for you. It was not too long ago. You were telling your mother that you got two holes. Nothing
Right?
about that is triggering, girl. But I think, see, to me, that's when people's full of crap, and she's already like, I already know the situation. That's why that Jonathan Jason guy is there, because he's fine with the foolishness. He probably go on vacation with them too.
Mm-hmm.
Wink, wink. He probably go on vacation with them too. Wink, wink.
Right. Right.
Because I will,
Yeah, Josh
and that's how I'm
seems
gonna.
like well, I don't even like really Josh's aesthetic. He looks kind of like Napoleon Hill with the shag to me, and it's just not my vibe, you know? And
I'm just gonna keep it there
but
because I'm trying not to get you demonetized. But
I
you know
know,
where I'm
right?
going with this. You know where I'm going with
Yeah.
this.
But Wale does seem like the logical and he's only interested in her. But of course, she only wants the people that all the other ladies are interested in, so she can go do secret hookups in the true swinger
Mhm.
fashion that really is her heart. While she sits there and tells the guy who told her, honestly, I swing, or I used to swing like you. And she's like, well, I don't want that. And then gets to swinging. I was like, such a hypocrite, such a hypocrite. I'm not ready for that in my life. I just want more stability. And then she's tonguing it up with Ralph every chance she gets. I'm like, okay, lady.
Oh, yeah. With her, "Oh, maybe he'll help me with my daddy issues."
Hmm.
Stop it. Stop it. It's like come on now. Like it at this point it's a persona. We already know you about that life, Ashley, and that's fine. We're not mad at you. In fact, we accepted that at some point. That's how you roll. All of this whole persona that you're trying to remake yourself into something else, girl, no. I really want these housewives to stop doing it. Stop telling us this fairy tale story that you're a different person. We all know that you're not, because that's why Bravo hired you guys, because you guys are messy. You got complicated past, probably a criminal record somewhere. Come on
Yeah.
now. Because I feel like Bravo do a really good job with background checks. All these people pass, they already know. They're just waiting for the story to come
Right.
out.
That seems must be their formula. That must be the formula. Because I'm like, how didn't you know that? How?
They know. They got I mean, they got enough money to have PIs, and PIs, you'd be surprised how much they could do with just being in front of the computer. They don't even got to go and escape you out. They just have to follow the digital records. Because it's not like these ladies are smart enough to hide what they do.
Right? Cough, Teresa.
I mean, to me, I'm gonna bring it. Yeah, I mean, I'm bringing it up back with Brit, not to pick on her, but I really do believe, even though she says she quote unquote scrubbed the internet, I said, girl, they been new. I bet you the intern figured that out, and they said, yeah, we want this one because we know that's gonna come out perfect. It's like they thrive on humiliating these women. It's like they get a hard on
Yeah.
off of it. And to me, that's why they're saying, "Oh, we found on the website." I do believe they found on the website, but that's why they're sticking to the story because who actually led them to the website, they cannot tell because then they're really going to get in trouble. So they have to just keep this persona about, we hired this PI person. No, we already know you. Because think about it, when you hire these people on, they do have to do a background check because the crew and the camera people, they're unionized people. So you have to vet these talents for their
Right.
safety. Am I right or
No,
wrong?
you're right.
Because these are unionized. So so they got to do a thorough background check before they allow these unionized
Well, they're not
employees,
union.
colleagues
They're
to
not
be around them.
union, but they are employees.
The 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 cast and crew. I'm not talking about the talent. I'm talking
Oh,
about
like the
production.
production. Yeah, the
Yeah,
camera
they're
people have a crew. Yeah, you're right. They have a union.
yes, they're the ones that unionized. So I think for their and because there's a big thing to protect them, that's why they have to do a really thorough background check because they could say, "Oh, you know this person." They can't play this. Oh, we didn't know. We have no idea. It's like, no, you have the ability to do a thorough background check to some degree.
Hmm.
That's why I'm surprised they're like, yeah, they knew what these folks about. They didn't care. And that's why they had to sit down there and be like, you know, whatever. Right.
Right?
Sorry. My dog climbed on my lap, so I have to readjust.
Ah, well, those were great points. Palaver agrees with everything about Ashley's forehead full eyes. Yes.
The
Okay.
only I think with the season I think with season 16 so far, it's showing promise. I will say everybody should come back. And I know it is, but I think either Brit be a friend of or just come off the show. When you and the reason why is I don't think Brit is bringing enough to like as a story herself because she's to me she's fading in the background. I am really trying to see what she's giving, and she's fading in the background. Now, if she does come back in next season, I'm worried for her because the way how I see Portia and Phaedra training her up, I feel like anytime Portia wants to be someone's friend, I know she has a alternative motive, and it's gonna work out really badly for her. That's just my opinion. Phaedra is nobody's friend. She only have pawns and tools. But I could be wrong.
I want to see everybody back, except for Phaedra. I
I
hope
think
Phaedra
yeah.
comes and flops and doesn't come back. I would even stay on Portia
Yeah.
again, even though I don't think she's doing anything.
Mhm.
I think they need a refund on whatever Portia promised as to what she was getting paid, and now she hasn't delivered. And I think they should have a refund clause when you lie to them about what you'll be able to do with your storyline. Um,
And then to me, I think the reason why Phaedra's coming back is not like I want her back. I know she's coming back because somebody in the network wants her back. They're willing to pay it is, and I don't know why. So it's almost like okay, we have to take her back because we don't have a choice. But I'm really still rooting for Quad to be on Housewives of Atlanta. I think she'd be a great addition. I think she will help shake up the show and make people like Portia and Phaedra work. Because no one's making them work. They're just sliding through, not having any storyline, not having any conversations, not being on the hot seat, not being held accountable. They just no one could talk to them. No one could make them upset. They get to walk away and feel some kind of way. No, I need someone to be there to make them work and earn that check.
right. Well,
And I think Quad could do it because Quad don't care.
yeah, will Bianca come up? You got a special request, Bianca.
I-
They want to hear from you if you're around.
And when Miami's coming back,
Yes.
in the meantime, if Bianca does come up. Because now I heard names. I heard Kiki's coming back, Marisol, but I didn't hear about Gordy. I didn't
Oh,
know if
Gertie
she's
for
coming
sure is
back or not.
coming
I hope
back.
she is.
Uh,
Yes,
um, okay.
because I love Gertie, and I hope Kiki is a full-time housewife. I think she deserve it.
Yeah, I think she's a friend of though. I didn't see her holding it a flamingo.
Oh. I didn't know the pictures are out already.
Yeah. Let me see. Can I do this? Okay, so the last thing is the Yandy Medici story. Is it going to share? Let's see. Is it showing us anything? Can you guys see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Let's see. Can I get into it? Do I even have that on this phone? Because we can show it here, but then we're going to hear it from here. So let me go to the place where the things are. Thanks for coming through, you guys. Make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell so you know when to get notified. Okay, so this link is from somebody named Busy B80. See, can I make it bigger for us? There we go. So this is Busy B80, and he's adding Yandy Smith, you guys. Yandy Medici's person from Love and the show with the music and the people, right? So he posted this. So I got in from the fan club and had a blast. And bitch, I completely broke down. Only thing I will never miss, only thing I will ever miss is Skylar and Omir. I never want to see you again or hear your voice. Stop calling and having your people call me. This is the emotional, girly, gay shit you be talking about. So I'm sorry for displaying emotions, something you're incapable of doing genuinely. This is not an apology. I'm going to back up off you because whatever toxic demonic entities that rubbed off on me when I walked into your house me for a minute, but my mother spoke to me and told me to back down off you. She said, this ain't you, son. But she also said she didn't raise no see neither. So you have her to thank. But I want to say this to you. If I hear you say, as anyone, and I mean anyone, tell me that you said I'm lying or that I'm a liar, you will force me to prove that I'm not a liar like you. That's all I'm saying. And you know what? You know what I can do, Yandy. F these people. This was solely for you. Ain't no sitting down and talking with you. Nope. That didn't work for us. I don't care how you feel about me. I did it this way so I can never be us again. Say I'm lying. I mean, 8 months from now, a year, and I'm sending pics and messages of everything I got. This ain't me, but this is at the same time. Don't forget, not a treat, a promise. Couldn't pretend like I wasn't hurt anymore. Oh well, that's the human trait in me that you don't possess. Even if I hear you say I was lying on the show months from now, remember, because I know you have a bad memory. So long, old pal. I'm leaving you, but you leave me be. I served a purpose in your life when God put me there. Our time is complete. Get help. You guys. You guys. Oh, man. So what did he say? I'm going to go here.
Thinking about all the shit I did for you and sacrificed for myself. Took me away from my birthday to London, bitch. That wasn't for me. London was for you. We're in a restaurant taking pictures. My boyfriend hits me up and he's like, yo, who's taking a picture? Who's that third menu for on the table? I said, oh shit, Yandy. He's gonna think I'm cheating on him. He thinks I'm here with somebody. Bitch, and all along we was there with you and your nigga that you was fucking. We went to London so you could fuck your nigga, your side nigga. Bitch, you didn't go there for me. I'm like, Yandy, please, I gotta tell him. Don't tell him nothing. I don't want him in my business. So you want me to let him believe that I'm cheating on him? And then you still ungrateful? So my shit is fucked up. Your shit at home in DC is under wraps because he thinks you taking me away to London for my fucking birthday. All the while, you out here fucking this nigga and the nigga was... Don't get me wrong. I would have fucked him too. But you still was ungrateful, bitch. You ain't no loyal fucking stand-up, hold you down, bitch. My shit is fucked up. My nigga think I'm fucking on him. And you doing all the fucking and sucking. In the room, we had a flat, bitch. The wall separated my bed and your bed. I'm listening. I can't answer the phone for my boyfriend, and I'm listening to you and listening to fuck all night. You a wicked bitch. You an ungrateful bitch, and then you treat me like shit? Nah, bitch, it ain't going down like that. Well, don't get me wrong. I would have fucked him too.
Okay.
You still was ungrateful.
So that's what he's mad about.
Boy, you fucking stand up, hold you down, bitch.
And you may or may not know
My shit is fucking...
that's on the heels of a Tasha K interview with somebody that said they had Medici's voice on a voice message talking about he doesn't really like Yandy like that. She's too powerful. He needs a real woman who can pay attention to him, or something he was saying on there. I was like, oh, cry me a river, fool. Cry me a river while she held you down while you were in jail. Cry me a river while her kids didn't have to suffer while you was not available to take care of them properly. Cry me a river. Okay? But that little tirade that we just saw from this gentleman, Busy Bee, was the other day. Now, today he woke up and had different feelings. So let's see what his mother helped. There's more. Come on forward. So that was him. He's like really breaking down, you guys. Uh, it seems like it might have cost him his relationship. And look, all money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. Let me see. Did I hear a ring in the back? Let's see. Do we have a ring in the back? Let me stop sharing that. Oh yeah, 4. Let me see. Stop sharing this. Start sharing this. May, can you come up here? Can you guys hear me okay?
Hear you
Dustin.
fine. Hi.
Right
How you doing,
on.
Archer?
Excellent. Hey, that
How you
was
doing?
crazy. I'm good. How are you, Dustin?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I
Excited to
am,
join today.
yeah, I'm glad that it's a holiday weekend for us.
The only weekend I get off until all the way up until September, so I get the time off this weekend. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
How's everything over at your house?
And things are going okay. I've just been busy working.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts about any of the things, any of the topics? We started with Apollo being a freaking
Well,
freak.
I think that all that is it speaks. I think it speaks for him. I think it speaks for itself, large. I think that he. I think it is going to change his life for. It's going to change his life a big time, you know. And I think that he deserves what he gets for it. I honestly think that.
Yeah.
I believe in karma as well, you know. So I think that he gets what he gets what he
Okay.
deserves. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it does the same thing, like it's self-inflicted. And in my
Right.
own life, I just want to offer, like in my own life too, right on, Allie. In my own life too, whenever things are going wrong, it's self-inflicted. a lot of times. Sometimes things are from the outside, but a lot of times the call is coming from inside even my own house. Where had I
Right.
addressed it sooner, or had I been more clear, or had I been more communicative, or had I not been as procrastinating, or you know what I mean, or had I tried to gain understanding sooner, like so I'm willing to take like self-awareness and accountability in my own self to
I mean,
recognize that I can even see this. But Apollo's a whole other look. It's two wives now, dude, on TV or in the public eye at least, that you've treated exactly the same way, where they're the problem for loving you.
yeah, I think that people make mistakes. I think people learn from their mistakes, but I think that he's making. I think that he's past that point for me. He's doing it to himself, or he's doing it to himself right now. And I think that he's gonna hit. I think this is his rock bottom, and I think he's gonna learn from the mistakes. I think he's already hit rock bottom. To be honest with you, this for me.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, but I don't think it's over. This is the start of rock bottom. If he's doing these kind of things on
I don't think it's over, but I'm just saying. I
yeah,
think it's the start of the. I think it's the start of his mistakes that he's gonna have to learn from, and I think that his future with the network, uh, or I think his future with anything is in jeopardy right now if we don't start changing things up around a lot of things.
yeah. 333. Yep. And then we were talking about NEne, she has a new talk show,
Yeah,
and
NEne leaks.
her
Yeah. Hmm.
yep, her views on her one woman talk show, to me, compared to Real Housewives of Atlanta, with stars and an ensemble cast and
Now,
millions of dollars for marketing.
can I ask
And
you some? Can I
yeah, go
ask you
ahead.
a question? Can I ask you a
Uh-huh.
question? My question is, do you think she's ever going to come back to Bravo?
That's what I don't think they'll have her, but I feel like they settled with her so that
Yeah.
they can make her be quiet, because she finally settled with him. So now she's not saying anything about NBC. She's gonna stop calling them racist. She's not gonna say anything anymore. But it's also, they settled with her the same year they gave spinoffs to everybody they fired for being a racist, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of
So
feels like
so
it was
so you think she's gonna get a spinoff then?
no.
No.
I think it was so they could give the racist a spinoff and shut her up. But I don't, if she was going to be back on Bravo, since the settlement had already happened and they were filming season 16, they could have let NEne come back for the Sweet 16 season as a pop-up, to see how the people received her or something, but they didn't do that, um,
Right.
because they do not want to have her as competition, I don't think. So on her talk show,
Okay.
though, she did a recent interview with Cynthia Bailey that has
I've
had
seen it.
over has 531,000 views. And then we looked
Mhm.
at the ratings for Sunday's episode, and it had like 525,000 views. And they get
Her talk
millions.
show is on YouTube, right? YouTube
Yeah, and
only.
her show's only on YouTube. She doesn't have millions of dollars for advertising. It's a one woman cast. It's so many factors. So to me, it
Mhm.
makes it better than Real Housewives, because the factors against it are so high, but they have so many other pro factors on their side that aren't working to their advantage on Real Housewives. It's just not
Right.
working over there. You know,
Right.
they're getting below deck numbers. It's like they're getting Southern Charm numbers, like, and I don't even know how those shows get to stay on with that low of a
Can I
thing.
can I can I ask you a question, Larger?
Yeah.
My question is to you: what do you think about the new Housewives show that got announced? What do you think about that? And how do you think it's gonna?
Oh, of Rhode Island and all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
Rhode
think that's
Island.
going to be great. I mean, I hope they can have some nice. I'm not familiar with Rhode Island. I just know it's over there by New York, um, in
Mm.
that region. I have no idea what the people are like, so it'd
Well,
be fun
actually,
to find out about the city. I'm
I'm
surprised they
excited.
didn't do like a Real Housewives of Chicago before. I mean, what the heck is even in Rhode Island? Like,
Yeah, but actually, I'm excited for it because uh, the people that like recap it. I mean, the people that recap it, I want to see what they think about it. So I'm
yeah.
excited to see it. I probably know that you're
Thanks,
probably going to
Sally.
recap it, probably too. So I don't know if you're going to recap it or not, but if you do, I'll be watching
Yeah, no,
it.
I don't know. I'll have to see if it catches me in the first episode or two, then I might watch it. But if it doesn't catch my attention and nobody resonates with me, or I think they're trying too hard or anything, I probably won't watch. Like Real Housewives of New York, when they did the reboot, I watched because I was interested to see, but it didn't really catch me till like episode 4. But because it had a previous series attached, I stayed in. Whereas Rhode Island, like I said, I have no idea about Rhode Island. I didn't even start watching Salt Lake City until the second season and then went back and watched the first. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Because I just was like, Salt Lake City. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. So excited for new anything. I love new. I love change. I feel like that might be some of the problems with these older franchises. Maybe they should like just do a decade per franchise and then go to add a new city and drop off the other city or something like that. Because the people that remain on the casts as OGs, like the Teresas, the Tamrats, the Heather Dubrats,
Yeah,
I mean, like all the
yeah.
people who end up being issues for the show or holding the show back because now they're just playing their part and not giving us reality. I feel like if
Mhm.
there's the threat that somebody else could come with
Yeah, but
reality,
do you think that? Do you think that? I don't think this is actually. I think yeah, we're watching reality TV, but I think they want the they want the drama for the reality TV because that's what brings the views. Now, if we didn't have the drama, people wouldn't want to watch it. That's just my opinion. I
but
think.
I don't, in
Uh,
my real life though, my problem is that I don't deal with manufactured drama. So that's
it's,
where they lose me with that as a formula. I feel like there used to be a formula for reality
I
TV.
I have to agree with you, Roger. I don't deal with I don't deal with the drama in my real life. Well,
Yeah,
I know that I want to see some changes in reality TV. I wanted to get back to the real reality TV that used to be, but it ain't
yeah.
gonna happen. I just don't think it's gonna happen because they want the drama for the views.
Yeah, everybody's about making moments instead of living a life.
Right.
And it's unfortunate because I feel like living a genuine life is moment worthy. I mean, look at TikTok. There's so many regular schmegular people just, sharing their life and people watch it. Even here on YouTube, I'm just sharing my POV. People watch it. So I don't think that
Yeah. You're
manufactured
just sharing.
drama.
You're just sharing your opinions, and that's what people want to
Yeah,
see. Hmm. I get it.
yeah. So I'm just like,
Same thing with the shows that I do. I do a show on Monday, so I mean on Monday nights. So it's like,
yeah, what do you guys talk about over there? You and JoJo, right? JoJo
mm, mm,
Speaks.
yeah, 90 Day Fiance. Now,
See, I'm not even into that show. I know a lot of now that gets views, I heard. That gets like million people be watching that. The
yeah,
90 Day Fiance and the Love After Lockup, millions of views for that stuff.
yeah, because I think it's because they have a lot of drama. See, that they want to. If we didn't have the drama like we do, reality TV, we wouldn't have this conversation right now. Now, that's just my opinion. Because we wouldn't
Yeah,
have the show. The show wouldn't be on the air if we didn't have the drama. But
right. I feel like viewers
I
should
don't.
start
I don't like.
dictating.
I'm a person. I'm a person that don't like to deal with a lot of. That like to have a lot of drama. Don't like to deal with a lot of drama. But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah,
And that's why I'm saying, like, so for my entertainment, I want to be entertained, not really triggered. And I feel like and I've been saying it for a while, that a lot of this reality TV, because I wouldn't tolerate it in real life, I end up yelling at the damn screen, like on my grandma in the Rocky movie, talking about beat his ass. Like I want to just,
yeah. I get it. What you? I get
like
it.
I'm yelling
Yeah.
at my TV because they're not making sense. I'm like, bro, and so yeah, I need to let go of that. But that's just my own little thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really do. I think the
But I
things
agree
that
with you
I
too that the drama is definitely what keeps people coming back, but also how they navigate the drama. I feel from navigating the drama, navigating manufactured drama as a
right.
life lesson could be a thesis for somebody, you know? That could be the
Yeah,
whole freaking thesis.
it is a feature for somebody. It's not that it could be. It is one because that's
Yeah,
what I feel like it is one because I feel like that's what holds the show together. And I
yeah.
don't feel and I think that should be it should be the old way. It should be the way things used to be, but that's not going to happen. So
Me
you have
too.
to. Hmm. Yeah.
I look at us talking about the good old days in reality. The
Yeah.
good old days of reality TV when before they knew about moments, before they knew
Hmm.
you could go viral, before you could end up a meme, you
Hmm.
know? And now
But
everybody's just
also,
trying for the
but I
for
also,
like a
but
saying. People are testing their sayings like so nasty,
mhm.
so rude. Aim them. Like people are just trying to throw things out to make a t-shirt, you know?
But I also feel like thing has to change with the times, just like just like the cable TV. I think cable TV is going to be obsolete. We're going to have streaming services. So,
Oh yeah,
uh,
that'll be great.
and I think I think that's the future. I don't think it's already happening. So
Right.
I'm a type of person that I can feel it, and I can feel it happening or see it happening, and I know it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. I can kind of see the future kind of, but
Yeah, that's like how
I just
YouTube is
feel it.
finally it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, speaking on that, I know Vimeo, we could see Vimeo videos here on YouTube. Vimeo
yeah,
is offering, along with Roku, what you're talking about, where you can have your own network on their thing.
right.
Um, and then people can stream your network on their network.
Yeah, I see. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Yeah.
just like ESPN, for instance, they're coming out with their new streaming service in the fall, and they're dropping all the all the they're going to drop everything that's on the cable TV and put it on the streaming service because it's cheaper for them to do it that way than it is to have the regular cable TV packages.
Well, I could imagine that that also impacts like how well who can be a star, but it also impacts how much the current stars can get paid. Because if you can just go over to Tubi and make a movie for $5 and pay everybody 10, then that's real competition for huge movie houses like Paramount, MGM, and the classics, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to get with the times, largely. You have to change with the
Yeah,
times. Yeah,
you got to stay with the times.
even though I'm the type of person that don't really like change, but
Uh,
you have to get ready for it and you have to provide for it. You have to change. You have to change
yeah,
with the times because it don't stop. It don't stop. It don't never stop. Technology is always moving and things are always changing. So
right,
that's just the way I feel about it.
right,
And the same thing that I feel about the reality TV. I feel like reality TV is like going to change to a point where
right, right.
it's all going to be on streaming services.
Well, Palaver agrees with you.
Hmm.
Right on. I'm going to wrap this up. We're almost going on 4 hours. I have a 5 o'clock and I want to relax before then too. But I wanted to share this. I had a couple stories. I shared a couple of things with you guys today to my curvy crew. So you guys are going to get another treat. So look what I found. I found this. It was my mom's. My mom is still with us, luckily, thank
Hmm.
God. But I found this and it I was like, is that so it's beautiful. It has like opal and pearl on it, and
You
it's
say
this square
you say you have
looking.
another show tonight. You have another show to do tonight, or no?
Oh no, I have a class at like 5. So
Oh, okay.
hi. Who's that? Your
Oh,
uncle?
my grandpa.
Hi, Grandpa.
Hello. He's in the bathroom.
Right on. So I found this and well, I had it in my jewelry box and I don't really open that jewelry box a lot. And but I decided to open it today and I was like, well, let me partake, right? So I oh, I got it. I was like, oh, and it's just so beautiful and the chain is nice and long so it hangs low. And then I opened it and look, you guys, it was my mom's locket from and look, that's me and my sister when we were little kids at Salmon P. Taylor. And it's in this
Oh,
full-on music locket necklace. And I actually collect these. So like I have like 7 of these different types of lockets, all different types. But yeah, that's how old I am, that I
mm.
love lockets. So I was just sharing that with you. When was the last time you saw like a musical locket necklace? It's been forever,
I
right?
it's been forever, been a long time.
Yeah. So it's
Really
just a
have.
little bit of my history. Aww. So sweet. And then a music box. When was the last time we had a music box? Right?
Forever, forever ago.
Forever, ever. Remember those jewelry boxes? I don't know if you do, Dustin, if you have an older sister or
My aunt
auntie
has
or
one.
something. Yeah. And did she
Mm.
ever have that jewelry box that the
Yeah,
ballerina
yeah,
would pop up and
yeah,
spin around? Yes. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
I had one of those too. But that music boxes, locket necklaces, and jewelry boxes with ballerinas that do pirouettes while you're looking for your earrings. Man, those were the days. Those were the days.
I really
Anyway, you
like this.
guys.
I really like this new platform. I like this better than StreamYard. It's a lot
Oh, me too.
easier.
This is Restream. You guys can use it too on your JoJo Speaks channel. It's
Yeah.
free. So it has a free tiers, and we're currently using the free tier, and I get to upload to YouTube and another platform. I did Twitch before. Today we're doing Facebook. Um, and all of that is free. You can
Mhm.
record it to your channel. I think there's a thing for you to like stream it to your channel, I think. Um, it has music, it has overlays. It lets me like just pop in my
Larger, come get
background,
inspired. Larger,
my
feel like a star.
is it
Larger,
gonna do it?
here we're all equal.
Yeah,
It
Larger,
lets me
yeah,
just
still
pop
take
in
you
my
far.
intro and
Larger, get the
exit video.
yeah.
And so that's always cool. What else does it do? I really like it. I really like it. Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
old, Palaver. We are officially old. If you know about a locket necklace with the music box, or you had one of those jewelry boxes with the pop-up ballerinas, then you are definitely my tribe.
Yeah.
Definitely, and gratefully so. That's elders. We were hecka polite. Those were good days. Those were good days, man. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like it made a lot of good stock people. Not saying that
Yeah.
the other generations aren't also, but it was kind of like we're right between. We started getting like we were leaving 8 tracks, but we also got VHSs, DVDs, and now MP3 players all in my life.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of beautiful living and I love it. So anyway,
Mhm.
Kirby's, I'm over here sentimental and you are over there being wonderful, Dustin. Everybody, check out Dustin's channel. Bianca, do you have a minute to drop the link for JoJo Speaks channel? Because that's where Dustin is on Mondays with JoJo Speaks. What time, Dustin?
Oh, we do it at I can't remember now. It's like it's at 5 o'clock. Yeah, 5 o'clock my time. I can't remember what time it is.
Hey, you still have it, Bianca? I don't have my
Yeah.
ballerina jewelry box anymore, but I have my lockets. Yes. Yeah, I'm on a mission now for and it used to have like the pink inside or the red, and it would have a drawer at least, and it would pop up and have the little cubby for your rings and loose stuff. But you know what I would love nowadays is I would love to have a black ballerina jewelry box, a Latina ballerina jewelry box, a Chinese
Yeah.
ballerina jewelry box. Can we get some of those in
Yeah.
2025 and do a nostalgia line, but do a DEI nostalgia line? I think it would sell. Whoever's
Probably
listening,
would.
the people will buy it up nostalgia wise, and especially if their daughters can be represented in the ballerina. You're looking at $1 billion, my friend, and you're welcome.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, go out, make sure you remember there's enough to go around. That whatever talent you have inside of you that's pulling at your heartstring, if you get to it, that's what we're really here for. We're not here for this 9 to 5, 40 hours a week on their plantations. That's not what life is about. Life is about whatever's making your heart sing. That's why I spend over this time over here. I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel, and then I never did it. Now I'm finally old, and I've finally decided, let's go ahead and do one then, because that's what life is. It's about doing it. It's about participating. It's about action. Faith is an action word. So I'm about to go there on this Sunday before we leave, okay? Faith is an action word. You do what you pray and you have faith, and then you do the work to meet the faith, and you meet it. You meet your opportunities. That's the part about being prepared. You being prepared allows it to meet the opportunity when it comes to you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there's enough to go around. Whatever make your heart sing, get to it, okay? And don't be afraid. There's God put that on your heart. He didn't put it on my heart. He put it on your heart. What did God put on your heart, Dustin? What makes your
To be
heart
here,
sing?
to be here with you to be here with you when I can be here.
Exactly. See? And that makes you happy, and it makes the ripple in the universe that much better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we're doing what makes our heart sing. I love building a beautiful community of like minds, of people who are compassionate, loving, thoughtful, and perceptive, and want to see the world move in a better direction. That's the community we're building over here at Larger Curves, where
I
there's
hope I
enough
hope
to
I
go
get to
around.
I hope I get to join more often. I enjoy being here with you every time.
Oh, right on, right on. And I always
Mhm.
enjoy it when you come up. So, you guys, thanks again to everybody for coming through. My mods, my curvy crew, the people in the bushes. We're going to be over at Krista's on Tuesday, so have your bell rung. And we'll see you over there. I might pop on here tomorrow. Oh, yeah, and I still don't care about the Diddy trial, and you can't make me. Ha.
Larger, come get it.
I watch it like
Larger, feel like a star. Larger,
I
here
can't.
we're
I
all
do not
equal.
care about it.
Still take you
I
far.
do.
Larger,
Yeah,
the
but I'll see you guys
larger.
next video.
Come have some fun.
Bye.
See you guys next video.
He's the one.